Hello, people. Welcome to Tabletop Talk. And welcome my co-hosts, Emery and Drake.
Hello, indeed.
Let me just...
Today we're talking about the fantastic Legendary Adventures.
Oh yeah, you are already taking charge. I was about to say, Emery, since
this
is your pick, please tell us about... tell us a little bit about Legendary Adventures to start.
Okay, so a game system started in 1995 by Gary Gygax and finished in about... it was 1999 that he finished it, but I think the principal design finished in about... I want to say 1998. edited by several people, including a good friend of mine, Chris Clark, who is just a strange, squat little man.
Okay.
Strange little guy. Funny way of talking. Absolutely. Weird designer too. Most of what he publishes is like almost like I would describe them as almost like troll games. They're like they're more comedy based than anything else.
Oh, fine.
They're very much like kind of like Funhouse Dungeons as full adventures.
That's
And
actually
that is the
interesting.
best
I
way
like
I
that.
could describe his stuff.
I like stuff like that. It's not too serious.
He wrote an entire adventure, if I remember right, that like most of the mechanics were done in like Pig Latin. And so you had to like reverse engineer 80% of the adventure, and it was really funny, and it was really fun. It took like 2 hours. Really good stuff. I actually have one of his adventures right here, 4 Legendary Adventures. Let me go into my stack of books.
Very nice. And while we rate,
Yes.
I would like to point out.
Terracaptra, Lost City of Atlantis.
I would like to point something out about this cover, namely that this is exactly what it looks like when the whole party fails their perception check.
Yeah, he's pointing off into the other direction, like, oh, look at that lovely mountain over there. I love this art style, though. Oh my goodness.
It's nice. Also, I mean, it's actually a wraparound cover. We can see the whole thing here, and it makes a bit more sense in this context. Like we have to go to the castle, you know. Let's point at the castle.
Yes.
But if you just see this, it's so funny to me. It's so very, very funny. The dragon destroys our town. Oh, I guess no one noticed. The end just rips up half of his notes.
On the guy on the right side, he's like trying to figure out which way is up on the map.
Yeah. Hi, Snot and welcome. That bird thing. What you mean? This bird thing? It looks like a normal-ass bird to me. Or what other bird thing? Is there another bird thing? I mean, it might be. It's a falcon, right, or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, looks like an attempt at a falcon.
And I also went live. Yay!
Oh,
We're all doing the thing.
Yay!
The thing.
This style is nice. It's always good to have the party shot, you know.
Oh yeah.
Also, these people do have character in them. I feel like that's good.
Yeah. My question is, which one is an oaf?
Yeah, indeed. We will get to the races of this game. Spoiler alert.
Yes.
Oh, we will. Don't worry.
They do involve oaths, but I would like to
I do want to talk about some of that stuff. It's wild. It's really weird. But my tweet got deleted. I was trying to make one.
What? You went?
I was making a tweet, and the fucking Twitter just was like, "How dare you? How dare you attempt to announce your stream?"
Oh, right. I didn't even tweet about going live. I should probably do that. Yeah. While I do that, let's talk about the preface of this game. This is a forward to the game, written by Gary himself in Lake Geneva, Wyoming, whatever this has to
Wisconsin.
be. I don't know. Oh, is this Wisconsin? I'm sorry.
Yes. So Lake Geneva, Wisconsin is the birthplace of D&D and tabletop games as we know it today.
Oh, okay.
I actually lived there for a significant amount of time while I was apprenticed in editing for Chris Clark, actually, doing a lot of his editing work on some of his later projects in the mid-2010s.
Very nice. Okay, I did not know that it was that important.
It's a lovely, tiny town. It's actually, because it's so unimportant, that it's kind of interesting.
It's actually a subtle flex then. So like, I'm still here. I'm still where it started. That's cool. That's kind of cool. I like
Lake Geneva, and it's nearby Kenosha. The biggest things to their name are probably Mark Ruffalo, the actor, was born in Kenosha, and D&D started in Lake Geneva, like 5 miles like west. That's it.
And I don't know. Did you saw what? To read that out loud? I initially saw us as like a bird, but with horrible black eyeless with a horrible black eyeless head with a gaping maw of teeth. What the fuck, guys? So this thing. I don't know. Maybe it's a bit small on the screen. I can't. I mean, we can make it a bit bigger. Let's see. Yeah, this. I mean, we have. Wait, I could move the chat then. Let's
Hello
scroll,
there.
scroll to our forward again. In the meantime, the way this is also a classic, nice shot here. It's very what you call it? Very Alice in Wonderland or something. And Impish, hi.
Oh yes. By the way, I'm just getting Trake's PNG to work for my actual screen where we can see all of the game because it is not here yet.
Oh, isn't it? Okay.
No, not for me. I need to set it, and there we go. Okay, there's Drake. There's Drake.
There we go.
And because Drake is so big, so
Yeah.
strong, so powerful.
That's a thick dog.
That's one thick dog, baby.
Oh yeah.
All right, I can actually transition
think-
over, and hello.
I don't
There
think
it
we
is.
do this at 150% so that Drake's head doesn't completely obscure some things. So, let us start this. Oli, do you have anything else to add before we dive in? Either of you?
There is one section of the author preface that I really like, and it's right here on page 2
Mm-hmm.
of the proper thing. So there is a section, one paragraph, right in the beginning. Role playing is a contest pitting the players against the legend masters. World metaphor, the campaign milieu. This is an all-inclusive term for those things with which and whom the avatars can encounter and interact. The divine, the supernatural, elemental, mundane, and all that goes with that. Gods, ghosts, bad weather, fires, thieves, beggars, and the price of a beer. Clearly, at least half of any role-playing game is the world metaphor. How it is presented and has motive is indeed more than half the reason the players find the game compelling. They are amazed, challenged, entertained, tested, amused, and thrilled because of that metaphor, not because of the rules for the game.
I agree with Gary 100% here, yeah?
The thing that I tend to see when a lot of people are looking into Gary's old work is confrontation, because he writes in this way, but it's never screw over your players and mess with them just to mess with them. It's challenge them because that's why they're here. They're here to play a game.
Indeed.
And a game needs to have challenge. And that challenge does not come from the rule set.
Right. Saying it right now, this game is not adversarial like the one we read the other week. So, of course, pitting the players against the word metaphor, that means that you could read that as, oh, the DM should kill the player. No. That's not what's meant here. It's meant that if the DM doesn't present you any challenges, then it's gonna be boring, right?
It's not gonna be a fun game.
Yeah.
Yeah, big game.
So, yeah. So this,
where do you
this
guys
is
want
very
to start
fun.
with this?
I would just like to point out some things. I mean, some notes, some dates. So Gary was, let's look at the wiki, I have it open. Gary was born in 1938, meaning since this was published in 1999, he was pushing 60 when he wrote this, and it came out when he was 61. Or maybe 60 still, I don't quite know when the exact publishing date was. But anyway, so we can kind of know that he was let's put it simply, he was
getting there.
This. Yeah, he was getting there.
He was old, yeah.
Not
Getting
super
up there.
old, yeah, but getting up there indeed. And so
I met him when he was in his 70s, and that guy was still kind of kicking around. By the way, this is a quick anecdote. The last thing that Gary was working on was a set of supplements, I believe, called Castle Zagig, which he worked on for 14-hour days. And then that was post having a stroke. Yeah. And then he had an aortic issue, and he pulled back to like doing 2 hours a day, but kept plugging away at making sure that he could at least get the beginnings of that supplement out.
Wow.
That's serious. I mean,
that guy was crazy. Like, he put his life into making sure that we could do this hobby.
Literally true, yes. And I would say, if he hadn't done that, maybe he would. I mean, no, I don't know. Still be alive might be the wrong word, but he would maybe
Maybe. Who
have
knows?
lived longer. But I don't think you could have dissuaded someone like that
He'd
from
also
just
be
doing
almost
that.
90. So, like, come on. Like, this could be.
What?
He was really old. He would be almost 90. He would be in his 80s.
He died at his age 69, according to the wiki. You can tell me that the wiki is wrong now.
No, he would have been.
Oh, would have been.
Had he lived to
Would
now.
have been,
Yeah,
yeah.
like,
Sorry.
he would have
Would have
been,
been.
like, pushing his 80s.
Yeah, true.
Mhm.
And I don't know if that's. Yeah, I mean, in rest.
I
in
would be
peace,
hoping
Gary.
he wouldn't be
Thank you
working
very-
right now.
Yeah, rest in
Indeed.
peace, Gary.
Nice guy.
Thank you very much for all you did. Let's say that right now. But also,
Thanks,
you,
man.
you were 60 when you wrote this, or nearly. So when he then
Mhm.
the man talks about that there in this preface, he starts with okay.
Talk about him talking about the kids in their video.
Yeah, he's not even. That's not even that. To quote this one, there's a waning interest in the role playing amongst young game enthusiasts. This is understandable, for they have probably been introduced to gaming and fantasy through card games that are easy to understand and play. Okay, so he didn't even realize that PC gaming was even a thing. That might possibly be a factor in anything. So just 1999 Baldur's Gate had come out by the time this book came out.
Yes.
Or there had been hype for a while, and there's been PC games and other D&D games for literal decades. But again, this is also something normal, you know.
Games and other Dungeons and Dragons games and Might and Magic had already existed.
It's
It's
kind of endearing to me, but you can read through this, and he has a worry because he's not wrong in what he talks about. Hey Daisy, hi, welcome.
Easy.
PC games, you mean Pong? Yeah, indeed, exactly. We do mean Pong. So I would say this is one of the few sentences where I disagree with him, even at the time. Meanwhile, role-playing games tend to be supported by a diminishing number of aging players who demand more complexity, even complication, and to wonder why they are not getting the support material they desire.
But he's kind of right on that one.
Listen, he is kind of right, but also
Hello, Gnome, by the
he
way.
really did not see
And hello,
is
Impish.
White Wolf had been publishing games for not quite a decade, but almost a decade by the time this book
Almost a
came out.
decade, yeah.
They've been publishing it for about like 7-8 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 1991 or 2 is when Vampire, the first edition, came out. And the first editions that White Wolf made were not good. They were just, they were other games. But they did have groundswell. They did get new people into the hobby.
Yeah.
And I think this is talking a bit out of his own circle. Where he would have been around those people, because that's who he started with. And who he was most likely to still play with, and those people.
So he was talking about the Dungeons and Dragons, like the D&D basic and the AD&D crew, who were working on overcomplicating the game. Because if you play second edition, it is so crazy. The amount of optional rules that kept getting jammed in for like piecemeal armor and siege weapons and all this other nonsense that you could just do very simply.
Oh, but he can't quite not include siege weapon rules here in this game either.
Siege weapon rules are important.
Yeah, I would say they are.
For that one player who's ever going to siege a castle.
I mean, you can start out with siege weapons in this game if you want.
Yeah.
Also,
as long as you pick the right one.
Just one of you explain Thaco to me. Go. I know how it works, but explain it.
Reverse armor class.
Thank you.
Reverse armor class.
That's the best example and classic example to me about how they.
It's also the first thing that ever gets thrown out.
Yep. It is.
Every single AD&D game I ever played started with like somebody trying to explain Thaco, and the GM going, "Oh yeah, I'm not using that. Fuck that. It's stupid."
Yep.
And you'll get people online who are constantly like, "No, it makes sense, and all of you are just stupid." It's like, no, we've been role-playing designers for like 15 years, dude. We still hate Thaco. Like nobody even back then liked it. Like nobody liked that system. It was real bad.
It is obtuse on purpose, and that's dumb.
A lot of things in AD&D are obtuse.
Yeah, he does talk about here to get a bit more into it about if you have a diminishing player base and no new blood coming in, it's gonna eventually kill it, and that is correct. But I would say you didn't see the other competition on the market quite when he wrote this.
I do like that he uses the word grognards.
Oh yeah, he does use
like,
that
intentionally.
Yeah.
Which if I believe is a French term for a grumbler, so an old crotchety man.
Yeah.
Who is set in his ways, and that is very much a stereotype of gamers to this day.
Oh yeah.
And they aren't all old. Some people are just like that.
It's extremely self-aware for him to be using the term.
True. I'm just trying to find it here, but it's somewhere on this side.
It's an old soldier. I love it. Such a good one.
He also talks about that new players bring new ideas and bring new outlooks and stuff, which, yeah, true. It's all true. The preface overall, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
We don't have to read it out completely. Let me see if I have my notes.
When we hit the last two paragraphs, the legendary Earth TM world setting, this takes place in Earth, on Earth, but fantasy. That is the legendary Earth setting. It is like Conan the Barbarian style, where it's like, no, this is just the world before.
This would, by the way, be my big criticism of this book. Let me just say that right now. So this preface starts out
We're not going to argue with the GM too much.
No, this preface starts out saying, these rules have been created with two goals in mind. First and foremost, the rules are meant to be easy to understand, enable novice player to create an avatar, and use that character to play in a short time. I would say, since this book potentially has 100 pages of spells in it, this might be... You might have to read this book if you want to play a character.
Probably.
And the only way to make a character quickly is to make an oath who can't use spells.
Yeah.
Yep.
No.
That's true.
So this is a bit... He failed a bit in this task, I think. Also, and this is my actual criticism here, but this is fine. It's 150 pages of rules. You can read them. Can also probably explain them, and if someone wants to play a wizard, they better do the work and read the fucking wizard rules, right? That's fine.
True. That's true.
But,
well, that's every system of Magic.
Indeed.
Yes.
Read your rules. By the way, to my chat, I have a specialty redeemed for today that is 50 points. I will read a randomly rolled knack or quirk from the good old Legend Masters lore book right here. And I'll give you one for free.
And here's my actual criticism of this book overall. And by the way, hello Azure, welcome. At no point am I given any background on the setting or what's going to be played. So this is, and it doesn't even tell me. At least I didn't find that where it's like, oh yeah, the DM can tell you what the world is like. I mean, assumedly that would happen. But we are going to get to some things that I have big questions about. And the book does really not tell you anything about the setting we are in.
Indeed.
And that is, I think, if I would have to point out one failing of this game, it is exactly that. Either of this book or not of this game. I can't really fail this game since I do not know the setting. If it's...
I got a good one. Jacking at all trades.
What? Jacking at all trades? Okay.
Yes, indeed. Jacking at all trades. Add 10% to all merits received for the Pantology ability. Pantology is a really good ability. I like it.
Yeah, we will get to abilities. So
tight, but yep, that's the random knack I just rolled. Great times.
Drake, anything to add so far? Or Emery, anything more to say to the preface?
So far, it's very clearly inspired by him making based on Earth. It reminds me of the fact that it's based on so much classic science fiction from the era that he is used to science fiction. Like, it makes me immediately think of the Larry Niven series about how magic goes away and then magic may return, because that was technically also set on Earth.
True. This is kind of Shadow.
And then also the Dying Earth series, Jack Vance.
Talk about Jack Vance.
Yeah.
Fritz Lieber and the classic Robert E. Howard stuff.
Yeah.
It's that's the vibe.
Oh yeah.
That's what Gary liked, and that's what he grew up reading.
Mm-hmm.
That is something something else I like in general terms. So okay, yeah. So let's.
I really like the artwork on page 4. I really like that on Midnight. He looks really tight.
Oh yeah, he looks. I mean, I like that they actually did the work on the horse. That's not normal. Many wouldn't do the horse.
Mm-hmm.
So let's look at this. So we have in the book we have the preface and a bit of what is a role-playing game, but not called that, but it's explaining the terms. So we have a glossary.
Yeah.
We are not going to look at those. It's fine. I mean, the
We don't
glossary.
have to.
The glossary is 2 full pages. Might tell you that there's more complexity in here than you might think, but
Indeed.
well. And now we get to character creation, which is
character creation.
Yeah. No,
so I'm going to ask you before we dive in.
Yeah.
What race really stuck out at you that you're like, I'll take one of those, please.
Okay, listen. Oath is just amazing. Just reading the name. But what really stuck out to me more is the 3 flavors of orc. Which tall would you like? Tall, small, or medium? That's what I also love.
Like the Starbucks orcs.
I'll take a venti orc, please. With foam.
Yeah. So the book is going to tell us how to make a character. I believe. Oh no, it's telling us no. Okay, we're not quite there yet. So we're starting with races, which are going to be just dropped on us with their names. So we have humans, and we have a bunch of alpha races, which are dwarf, gnome, ilf, kobold, oaf major, veshogi. I don't know how to say that, but I'm trying. Orc
greater. Veshog would be a good one.
Veshog, okay. Orc greater, orc lesser, trollkin, and wolf.
Yes.
And if you see elf and wolf, we are getting to the fancy names in this book, which are something.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't just say elf, because elves and wilfs are basically just elves. Like they're just elves. That's all they are.
They're kind of elves.
They're both elves. Like, why do you need a different one? What's the difference? It's terrible.
It's so
weird.
Okay.
Like, it makes any sense.
No, Azure, ilf does not stand for imp I'd like to fuck. That's a good one.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, depending on some imps can be sexy.
I'm just imagining an imp now. Oh, I have a fan.
Hey, look, just saying, being philic and phobic are traits that you can roll or choose as a quirk.
Oh yeah, do you
100%.
Well, okay, so we'll get to races in a bit, but just know that we have a bunch of them. So
there are a bunch of them.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 races and 9 uniques. 10 uniques, sorry. So not bad. And now we come to base ratings.
Pretty good.
Base
pretty
ratings
good selection.
are your attributes in this game, basically. And we have a whole bunch of them, namely 3. 3 is a bunch. And these are health, which is your how good your body is, how healthy you are, and how strong and stuff in certain terms. But it is, we have to get to this now. Right now it is abstract. It is not your muscles. If you want muscles, you take a skill for that. There's athleticism or something.
Yes, you do.
But health is overall. Health kind of does govern. It's directly your hit points.
It's just your pool.
It's your pool, yeah. It is, and if you take a skill in something, at least to start, if your health is higher, you get more skill in that. And that is also true for precision, which is anything to do with dexterity, more or less. And being being not bumbling oaf, lol.
Yes.
And
we're clowning on oafs a lot.
Yeah. Oh, it's gonna be a theme because I do love the name. And then
I adore them.
And then we have speed, which is more or less your initiative, and
pretty much. That's just it.
It also just does some fighty stuff mostly for fighting.
A little bit, but
for fighting skills,
it's not very important.
Yeah. Speed is deceptively unimportant.
Yes. Straight up.
Yeah. Oh.
I do kind of like the random increase dice, though. I really like that you have like kind of a base,
Right.
and then you roll your random increases and just go for it. You know,
We are getting to those very soon. And
I think it's neat.
as a compliment for you, you are very precious to me, and I look forward to playing with you a lot more in the future. Many games and many fun times. Oh yeah.
I like that meme, Trey. It's very good. Very
like
classic.
that.
We have a meme. We have a meme. Where is it?
Yes, we have a meme.
Oh, I guess I could post in the...
No, it's fine.
I've been fat. I'm too fast for you.
That's why I have a browser. I can't have everything open. That's a bird.
Oh, good, it can. It fit 100 of them.
So
There's 100 in there. There's a knack for being just a guy everyone likes.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not even joking. It's Hail Fellow.
That's
Hail Fellow?
Hail Fellow, yes.
Oh, goodness.
The knack that means people like you. Hold on, I'm going to find it. It's really good. Oh, I just found the weird fetish knack. Heavy sweating. Disgusting. How dare you?
Some people into it.
Yes. So yeah, hail fellow demeanor. Members of the same sex are 90% likely to find the avatar basically likable, amiable, comradely. Oof, bad word. Friendly, sociable, honest, interesting, jovial, non-threatening, worthwhile, etc.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's not as badly written as it could have been.
It's not that badly written. Most of this book is fine. It's serviceable. I really like the idea that you meet somebody and roll a percentile die, and it's like, well, it's under 90%.
That's very
they like me.
Yeah. That's. Oh yeah, initial disposition is a good old concept of these games. Most of them.
I like that though. I kind of like that.
Oh yeah, sure. It makes sense. It's better to have it random than to have the DM decide. In many cases, and you have optionally, by the way, you have a fourth stat, which is intellect, which you can or cannot use. Which again, we're gonna get to oaths. It does not mean they are dumb. I don't think it means they are automatically dumb. But,
no, they're just basically like trolls or giants.
Yeah. Very small giants. Yeah.
Oafish. Yeah.
But it should tell you something, and I think it's actually something kind of positive, that intellect is an optional rule that you don't have to follow.
You don't have to deal with it. You're about as smart as your skills that you have.
Yeah.
You know, like if you have a ton of academic type skills, then you are definitely a smart guy. But it's not just, oh, you have a high intelligence, therefore it works. And same with your spells. It's only the skill that really matters.
The book also very much assumes you don't use this, because it does tell you on a few sides, oh yeah, if you want intellect, you can do this and that. But it just assumes you won't. I felt. And then we have abilities. These are your skills, your D&D. If you look at this stuff here.
I actually really like these abilities. There's a lot of them, but I find them to be pretty cool because the skills you take give you your equipment because you've trained to do them.
I do actually like that in the game.
I do also like that aspect. I would say though, for there being so many skills, you don't get a lot of them to start, and that can really make it hard to make a character in this game, I think.
My story for Legendary Adventures, I played in a full, I think, 2-year campaign of Legendary Adventures, and this was following up a 2-year game of AD&D, in which I was playing a bard. If you know anything about bards, in first edition, they're basically a prestige class. I think my character was like 10th or 12th level. I was really fucking strong. And then my GM shows up one day and he says, hey, due to this story thing that we just had, we're changing systems. Because I think his concept was we were going back in time before kind of like a cataclysm, like a big event. And therefore the rules of the world worked differently and magic worked differently. And I went, okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, now take your 12th level bard and make them in Legendary Adventures with 6 skills.
Okay.
Ooh.
That's gonna be difficult.
So I think I went with weapons and waylaying, shit like that.
Actually, I mean,
chivalry.
There's actually not much more to this creation. So we have abilities.
Not really.
And then
you take a bunch of abilities and they have a percentage of your base score. I think that's fine.
Here we have them. And one should point out that these are not for example, chivalry is a very good example. This is not knowledge about chivalry. This is being chivalrous. This includes riding a horse, for example, or knowing how to fight with a lance.
Yeah.
But it means if I can have this, I can ride a horse. But also, if a character that isn't chivalrous,
you could also use rustic or savagery.
Rustic, which is essentially knowing how to farm and so on.
Farmer, yeah.
There's, I think, even some sort of. It's more or less a bit of you talk with your DM. If the DM thinks the skill is applicable, you can use it. That is the base rule.
I actually really like that. And if everything fails, you can use pentology. The greatest king of skills. It's the skill that lets you do any check with it at a penalty.
Yeah,
get high pentology and win.
Yeah. Nomadic would be another one to maybe able to ride.
Nomadic's good for that. Yeah.
Physique you could argue that depending on your background, it would include that.
Yeah. Competitive horseback riding.
Savagery could include it easily.
It could, yeah.
And I think that's about it. So
waterfaring if you're riding a seahorse.
True, yeah. And the idea here is that you're actually building a character and it's not rigid skills, which is cool. You can take it or leave it.
I like that.
I do like that.
One of my favorite skills is still waylaying. It's so good. It's literally just your skill for being a mugger.
My
banditry skill.
Simultaneously, my favorite and least favorite skill would have to be luck, because I think luck could have been a mechanic and not a skill. I mean, I guess people are known for being lucky sometimes in fiction.
Yeah, I also really don't like it.
But this one is a bit crowbarred into here because they didn't want to add another thing.
Yeah.
And well, if you take these skills and then you can take equipment from different lists.
Yes, so we have low, middle, special, high, magical, and military lists. Which I like this system so much. It's just not good.
No,
it's not good.
By the way, my favorite picture of this whole book is this one.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I like it. The idea of assassinating a man with a flail.
What I see here is a story.
This is a meme template.
Yeah, this is fucking a meme template. Also, what I see is a story. There was an artist who handed this in, and then he was asked, "What is this guy looking at?" And then he added this small window.
I love it. He's not even looking at the window. Like he's looking his sightline is just staring off into nowhere.
Yeah, he has many questions about adventure and knowledge.
Also, that's like a savannah-esque tree.
Yeah.
They're in Fantasy Africa.
Yeah, they're in Fantasy Africa as Germans.
What is happening?
I think as Germans, because this looks very much like the Bundesadler. But whatever. So
I like the idea of assassinating a man while you're dressed like a court jester with a flail. That's a player story.
I like assassinating any man with a flail, because that is never the A plot, never the plan. The flail is never part of the plan in that case.
Also, Azure, I'm seeing you in Nura's chat. My thong is an enchanted item. It's a jock of holding.
Yeah, I mean it's transdimensional. Otherwise, it wouldn't fit in there, you know.
Well, that's how I wear my pants so tight.
Yeah. Okay. Let us. I mean,
that's the lore.
Okay, that do be the law. So this is the many-step program to create a character. Let's just go through it ourselves. This character examples. So let's look at humans and kind of walk along how you would make a character.
I want to see how fast I can do this. I'm grabbing a pad of paper and a pen right now, and I'm going to make a wilf, and I'm going to do it as fast as I can.
Okay, but let's look
at a good idea.
Look at human first real quick, and then at wilf, and see how they differ, because it's going to be in not many ways. So you get 100 points for your 3 attributes for health, precision, and speed. And these are your maximum minimum. So you can have of your 100 points, you have to put 68 into these, like this. So you can't be less than 40 healthy, less than 20 precise, and less than 8 speedy. But then you have your 32 points left over. You can spread here, wherever you want. And you might think, wait, if some skills are based on speed and it's only a maximum of 12, how the heck are my skills? For skills, it gets multiplied by 4. This one.
Yep.
And I think these costs 1-to-1, and this costs half to 1. So to get this from 8 to 12 would be 8 points of your 100. And then you have this. And then after that, for every race, you re-roll a die of differing number to add to these stats on top. So you could have, if you start with 70 health, you could potentially have 90 health if you roll 20 on your d20.
Yes. The way that I did this when I made my original character and the way I do it now is I do my random rolls prior and then adjust. Yep. Because the random rolls won't go over your max anyways. Or, well, they will, but it's not really that great. Like, what's the difference between 78 and 70? It's not much, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, true. It's you can do it either way, just you can't, if you roll a 20 here, you still can't go over 90 here. So, and then we look at next, exclude abilities. Humans are not excluded from learning any ability. Some races will be. Orcs can't be chivalrous, for example. And we're not restricted from abilities either. So I think the excluded is you can never ever have it. And restricted is you can't have it to start.
That's right.
Or the other way around, whatever. And there's no mandatory skills for a human. Because some races, as we will see, or rather all other races have several mandatory skills. And then you choose 4 abilities. And they are going to be at these percentages of your base rating. So, for example, if you have a health-based skill and your health is 70, that would be 70 in that skill. Or if you take it at the lowest thing, it would be 7 times 4, so 28.
Yep.
And then you have no special capabilities or handicaps, and that is your race. You are done.
Oh shit! I can't be a will if I can't have chivalry.
Oh, can't they?
They have restricted abilities, by the way. That does exist.
Yeah.
So I would be an elf instead because it's just an elf, but regular, not.
Then we have dwarf. That's fine. We have gnome. So let's look at elf. This person here. Next, since Emery is making one. So first thing you'll notice. Health max 70, precision max 50, same thing. Speed max 12, also same thing. These stats are not going to be hugely different in their potential maximums or minimums for the most part.
Exactly. You're going to be basically within the...
Your random dice will be though, because we got d20 here for human, but 2d12 plus 2 for this. And I think it was d10 for precision and it was d3 for speed. So Ilf gets a bit more attribute. Nice. You're not excluded from abilities.
Shit,
and you may not begin play with the following abilities. And here we get to one of the failings of the book, in my opinion. Because these books tell me why I can't have commerce or evaluation or mechanics or metallurgy or nomadic or planning or savagery or urbane as an elf. I'm not saying it doesn't make sense. I'm saying, I
think it's a cultural thing where they're assuming kind of a dominant culture of that race, and that to me has a lot of kind of wishy-washy things. But like, you can't not learn them. You'll notice they're not excluded, but they can't begin play with them.
My point is my point is simple. It's not even that I find this bad. It's fine if the setting tells me these people are all from, I don't know, the woods because they can't learn urbane and they're in modern technology. Okay, they can't learn nomadic, so I guess that would be from the woods, because nomadic is like desert people and so on in this context.
Oh yeah.
Planning, I'm not sure. I guess they are not savage, whatever. And this can all be explained, but the book does not explain it at all.
Yeah.
None of the races have even a single paragraph devoted to why these things are as they are. And that is really my base problem with the races and of the book again, as presented. It should have had I mean, it's like 200 pages long. It should have had
that detail, but
ten-
it spent more time selling itself as a system rather than actually giving you the information that you needed, which is unfortunate.
give me 10 pages of backstory and I'm gonna be fine with it. But as is, this is a failing in my book, which I have to point out. And then we come to
the
the
Legend Master reference section on creating avatars, Alfar, and Vishog races is 1 page.
Okay.
1 page.
Okay.
By the way, I really don't like how there's a section in this Legend Masters section, page 111, and I'm going to read you the headline of this page, and I'm just going to get a vibe and see kind of how you feel about this. There is a percentile chart for racial interbreeding. You happy about that?
I'm not unhappy about that. I don't mind such rules.
This is actually kind of funny. Dwarf, 100%. Dwarf, human, 25%.
Oh, it includes same race? Why?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Because it's 100%. We know it.
I must know. Is it not 100% at any point with the same race?
No, it looks like it's 100% straight across for same, which is kind of a weird thing, but you know.
I would have been intrigued. I mean, it assumes they are compatible generally. That's fine.
There is a 1% chance that you could be on Oaf Kobold.
Oh no.
Oafs have 25% with Ilf, huh? Kind of neat.
Can be an.
Wait, why is Orc and Ilf only 10%? What the fuck, man?
Why?
What if I want to be an Orc Ilf?
And then to get
an
back to
oils.
this, and now most races, or rather all races except humans, have 2 or 3 mandatory abilities, which you get to you don't get to choose, and you always get at these percentages. So all Ilfs will have hunt, stealth, and weapons at these numbers.
And then it's basically those get to be your other 3, and then you get your first ability at 100% and second ability at 80. So like, I would probably take something like fucking chivalry at first, and then pentology at second, and then grab the rest of my shit.
Not all races actually get at 180, but yeah, fair enough. You usually
true.
Get 2 or
that's
3
that's just for Ilf.
2 or 3 picks.
You get a couple of picks,
and they can be then anything, which is, in my opinion, it's a bit much because again, you only get 4 or 5 skills. Having 3 of them pre-chosen for you is a lot.
Yeah,
it is a lot, and
it's also, like I said, just kind of assuming a social standing and kind of a cultural background. It doesn't leave a lot of room.
Yeah, which
in
is
something that's supposed to leave a lot of room.
In a rigid, I mean, in a well-written setting, this is all fine. Because these are very general, so it's kind of okay that they presuppose them, but it's just many. It's just 2/3, no, 3/5, sorry, of your starting skills are already chosen for you. And then we get to my favorite part of these races, because you have special capabilities or handicaps. You have a natural affinity with normal animals. This provides for a check against speed, multiplied by 4. If a single specimen can be calmed or controlled, so as to prevent attack or flight. So you're animal friend, I guess. That's just the thing you get. That's cool.
Okay, so like right now, my Wilf would have a speed of 16 due to my roll and the points I spent. So let me check if I can actually hit this percentile roll.
So, and don't choose
violence. See if I can calm this
in my own chat. I did not say it's badly written. I say it is not going into any detail about the setting. So I can't comment on if it's well written or not. I can only comment on it is not telling me these things.
I make the check.
Incomplete.
I calm the bunny. Yeah, it's just not complete because this is kind of crazy where I'm holding the Legend Masters lore information for Dungeon Masters. There's no info on the setting because the Legendary Earth setting has its own book.
Ooh.
It's straight up. Imagine a book that expects you to run in the Forgotten Realms and doesn't put any Forgotten Realms info in the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It doesn't work.
It does not work at all.
Right. It works
settings is not here.
For D&D, D&D usually doesn't give you much info either, because D&D kind of assumes, it's going to be a generic fantasy thing, but D&D doesn't tell you, your elf or your orc is going to have, I don't know, athletics and And intimidation always as class skills, and then you can choose one more. That's not how that works. You can make your orc have any skills. But yeah, every race also has some more of these racial capabilities. And the favorite ones for me have to be, let me look at Kobold here. Things
I
are
love the
worded like this.
So goofy.
Kobolds have a visual capacity double the human norm and are able to see in total darkness if limited by equal to twilight. This does not mean that you can get a bonus to perception. It just means you have double. It never comes up if that does anything. And,
yes.
Kobolds also have an auditory range limited to around low C sound waves, 1 octave below middle C. Okay, I have no idea what that means. I'm not musically trained at all. But are still subject to sonic effects that work on nerves other than the auditory. Several races tell you this, that they hear around low C, and I have no idea why. Who cares?
I love it. But this is crazy. Kobolds have the basic combat capacity of using 2 attacks with native physique abilities bonuses of 2/5. Kobolds are strong as fuck. They're really good.
They are really good, yeah.
They basically break the initiative in this.
Yeah, Kobolds are very good. They are also very good at commerce, very good at evaluation, so they're good at knowing what's valuable and knowing how to sell it.
And 10% base armor.
And
crazy.
They are
so good.
They are stealthy, all of them, and very high. And they get 100% 60. You could easily make a nice rogue out of this. Or
easily, yes.
With a weapon skill, high weapon skill, and then you take stealth or whatever.
Crazy useful. Yeah. Yeah, they're crazy. You don't have to take stealth with a kobold because you have it at 90% precision.
Sorry, stealth.
This is crazy.
Burglary, I think, is the
like waylaying or something. Yeah.
It's something like that. And
it's so good. They have, look at how much shit they have. They have 11 different abilities.
Yeah, and one of the abilities is humans are 50% likely to discriminate against kobolds due to their reputation.
One of your abilities for your race is people are racist.
No, humans are. This is always
nobody else.
Several races have this as a 50 or 25%, and only humans are racist in this game because only humans have. Yes, Thunderdad, question.
That's good. What can we do?
Yeah.
How can we help you here at this Burger King?
Again, only
the way it's written, it's just like it's almost like mind control that you can't control.
Yeah.
They're 50% likely, so you just encounter somebody. And, dang it, they're a racist now. What the hell? What did I do?
This is a kobold, so I think it's just a small man.
They stand at about 3 feet in height with small bone structure, slender build, sinewy strength, and great agility. Complexions range from greenish to pale apple green, jade hue. They're goblins.
Yeah, they're essentially goblins. Yeah,
they're just goblins.
More handsome.
They're sexy goblins. Yeah.
They are hot goblins, which I think is the best. I think that's so funny.
Yeah.
Other settings have hobgoblins. We have hot goblins.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, come on, check it out.
And we call them kobolds just because. This game does. I mean, we have three. I think maybe lesser orcs could be goblins. So let's look at the oath. That's the typical oath.
Oh, our classic, our favorite.
A typical oath is about 6¼ feet or 6½ feet tall from the top of his flat, oval-shaped head to the calloused soles of his big, flat feet. Facial features are apish, with prognathous jaw, ears that stick out, beating brow, etc., shoulders slope to long arms, terminating in large hands with short, thick, and powerful fingers. So
they're bugbears.
Bugbears or gorillas or something. I get a monkey vibe from this. Monkey vibe.
Yeah. Monkey.
I do too.
Make the new meme. I love it. They're so OP. Could you imagine making a goblin race in your game and making it the best, like mathematically? They're so good.
Yeah, they kill you, they sneak away, and they sell your shit for maximum profit.
Yes, but there's a 50% chance that maybe you won't like them when you meet them. By the way, I want to point that out with these kind of racial things and these dispositions right away, and things like Hail Fellow and the other issues. Your GM would have to make when a party of 6 enters. Think about it: racial, knack based, and skill based. Multiple rolls, 3 rolls per person, approximately, maybe 2, depending on if you have a knack or quirk. So that's anywhere from between 6 and like 24 different rolls for a party of 6.
Yeah,
right away when you start.
It is a lot.
Unless you just adjust the percentages accordingly. Like if a kobold with Hail Fellow talked to a male human and the kobold was also male, that would probably be like, it would probably reduce that by down to, I think, 5%.
Yeah, thing is, no one would actually do that.
No one would.
No, nobody would.
So
I would, because I just did it. I've never run a Legendary Adventures game, by the way. I've only played it once.
I mean, you wouldn't do that for every fucking time anyone meets anyone. You would do it a bit.
My GM actually did it on the same guy within 2 different conversations.
Okay. So I would like
my
to
character
point out,
met a guy and got fucked over.
I would like to point out, you might think an oaf is big, right? But no. Male members of humans are about 5'10", and an oaf is a bit over 6 feet. So oafs are not really any notably taller than humans. And
that's the typical oaf.
The typical, the
major oaf is about 6.5 to 7. That's not even that big.
7 feet.
They're literally just bug brothers.
Yes, they're just. I mean, they're very, very broad, I would assume.
I like them. Big boys.
So also, this is copy pasted.
Yeah, it is. It is larger and stronger, but no smarter than typical oafs.
Yeah.
Why?
And
there's so much copy paste in here, and it's kind of wild.
Very bit, very. So, and it does mean they have 7 more points in health than a human, maximum. Same precision. No, 10 less precision. Sorry, and half of and 4 less speed. I think like that. And Big Oaf has 80-46, so it's these don't differ that much. You can essentially make an oaf with the same stats as a human. And they get different bonuses and stuff, and oafs.
Oh shit! I'm gonna have to flip this. All right. By the way, just saying, an axe does 5 to 20 damage when hit.
Yes. We're getting to weapons soon enough.
So I'm just saying, like, that health is gonna go away real quick.
Oh yeah, but the oaf can wear armor. Then it's
indeed. And armor is more about damage reduction rather than anything else. I actually kind of like the way that the armor system
takes
works,
its own damage in this. It
yes.
is a mixed bag for me.
It's not great, but it's not bad. You know, it's fine. I like greater orc. I love the idea of having 3 different orcs. I don't know why it's so funny. Olfactory capacity is double that of humans, about 1/5 the capacity of a dog. What? Yes, why did you put a dog in here?
Yeah, they compare to dogs a lot.
I noticed that too. I was like, what?
Yeah. So let's look at real quick. I want to compare why we need an oaf and typical oaf, a big oaf and small oaf. So we have this is 3 lower for the small oaf. The rolls for bonuses are slightly different.
Yeah.
And that is, I think the abilities are different. Physique ranging weapons versus physique ranging weapons. So 67, 70, 80,
they're better at physique, worse at ranging.
80,
like
60, 70. Yeah, these guys throw better than these guys. But it's important to know that ranging isn't actually throwing things. It's always weapon skill to attack. But ranging can give you a bonus to it, I think.
Yes.
That's correct.
And otherwise, these races are basically identical. So why did there need to be 2 of them? It's weird to me. It is very weird to me.
That's definitely built out of like, oh man, we need to make sure that all of our bases are covered for what people want to do, you know?
Yeah, it's very much that.
But would anyone read this book if there was just oaf and it was just this? And be like, but that's not big enough for me. I want one with 3 more health.
More.
We need
to go bigger.
We need to go deeper.
I need 3 more points in health. And I would just like to point out that the oafs don't get 100% skill. They get
No, they don't.
and there isn't really any reason for this. I could see. It's just fuck you. You don't get good skills. You get weapons and this, and then you're 50 and 40 because I guess you are dumb after all, even if you don't have intelligence. Same is true for orcs. Orcs also get no 100% skill. They get a bit more, 60-50.
How did I fucking lose my? How did I lose the list of abilities?
I don't know.
How did I lose it?
We're getting
The only 100% an orc can get is a greater orc for physique, and that's it.
Yep, greater orc always has 100% physique, so you can be a greater orc, but if your health is only 50, right, that's no orc greater. Okay, 50, 50. Then you can still have only 50 physique, while a lesser orc that happens to have this maximum of 76 in health would be bigger than you. So that's kind of where this breaks down, but I mean, I understand.
So ranging is
down is a good way to
what
put it.
you do as a ranger. It is tracking and things like that.
Okay. Then archery is the one I was thinking of then?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
If the hunt ability is also possessed, the individual adds 10% of that score to the ranging score, and vice versa. So there's interplay between abilities that you have.
There's a lot of
Also,
interplay
thank you for the legendary kobolds meme. I like that. What's up?
Is there another one? Yes.
I could get down with those kobolds though.
But remember though, people, we are all humans, so 50% likely you are racist against us.
I'm not.
Yeah, I also wrolled.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, well, okay, you're an elf. You're not racist. Correct. You are not racist.
I'm special. Yeah. Can't be. I'm an elf.
And I guess Drake and
I
are
almost
vampires, so we are also not racist. But chat, you guys, you have to roll your dice. You know, you might not like this.
Go.
I just realized we have elves and then we have kilfs.
And then
I'd like to.
So let's just quickly. I don't want to go into big detail about everything here, but this is a dwarf.
The Trollkins are they're awful.
We have dwarves. We have gnomes who don't get a page, but they look like shit. Gnomes look like I don't know, trolls from Troll 2.
Yep, they look like troll dolls. They're awful.
Oh, that's
they're
horrible.
horrible.
We're talking gnomes right now. Troll dolls also coming. So then we have the oafs and the orcs, and then we have Trollkin, which are you might have seen these on TV as with the hair and stuff. They're also small, so Trollkin isn't the troll from D&D that you might know. It's a small
potato-headed little dude.
Yeah, this is a very unfortunate picture. I would this could go in certain propaganda posters, and we don't want to talk about that.
And for no reason, you have pig people.
Yeah. And
no reason.
I mean, I will say at least the troll can get two pictures. Then we have wolves, who are the classic elves, and you can either be, what was it again? You can either be from a grotto, or you can be from a meadow. I think no, from a thicket, right?
Thicket.
That's your
thicket or grotto.
So you choose today, thicket or grotto. It's up to you.
I want to play one from Savannah, Georgia.
And I agree, those pants are pretty awesome. This is.
Yeah, they're going hard.
Yeah, all these.
I will say, I think it's kind of cool that wolves get like psychogenic abilities, alter vibrations, material sensitivity, mind over matter. Like they're
psionics, all of them.
They're psionics for no reason. I love it.
Again,
you can constantly say for no reason about like 80% of this book.
It is just decided, which is why it's so damning to me that they didn't include any information about the background. It's just all elves are all psionics. Why is that weird to you? Why do you need more information?
Granted, I've explained this in some of my settings where my dwarves have a very high amount of psionics.
Yeah.
But I explain that very simply. They're right over the fucking Underdark, so of course they're fighting mind flayers. Yeah, they'd be psionic.
Yeah,
but that's always something I tell my players if they want to be a dwarf.
Yeah, give me a fucking line about it in your book. That has the races. Please.
Tell me why.
One line.
Elves, I guess wolves just have bigger brains than everyone else, and they're superior to all you dummies.
Yeah.
And can use big brain magic.
And last but not least, but also very much least, is the pig people, the Veshogi.
Ah, yes. Pygmalion.
They are the ones who have the most precision out of all races. I checked this beforehand.
Yep.
And they have the
Incredibly precise.
generally least health of all races. And
Yeah,
otherwise
though.
they are basically
max.
commerce stealth weapons, which is they're basically kobolds.
Yeah, they have very similar kind of vibes to the kobold.
And but they are, I think, normal size. They are very much like humans with pink and rose. Yeah, they are okay. They're basically humans
Very
with,
specific chosen abilities.
with different
Yep.
noses. And you can have 6 abilities as one, which is kind of good. Makes them good all rounders, and as far as the system can have them.
Oh, they have 2 attacks, only 1 quirk.
Yep. And auditory capacity is double that of humans, which puts them around, I don't know, something of a dog.
What percentage of a dog would you say?
37% of a dog.
This is only 7% of my dog's power.
I mean, by making that joke, you haven't pointed it out, but there's it mentions it several times when it comes to smell, that it's about half of a dog or a third of a dog, and it's weird.
Okay, I'm gonna damn myself here. I don't hate the Vishog. I think they're fine.
Why would you damn yourself? I also think they're fine.
I think they're fine, but like I kind of like them.
Yeah, I would say simply, I don't have no information about them. They look fine to me. I would play one just for the 6th skill. The 6th skill is so good. Oh yeah. Also, one thing to mention now, since we're also we're gonna go into the orders are next. Okay. But
Orders are actually really cool.
Orders,
I think these are really tight.
Orders are cool, I agree. But orders are also kind of superfluous if you don't tell me what they are. But I see that this is orders. I'm more up to. Right. We should explain what orders are. So orders are basically your class, more or less.
They are a supplement to your character's basic ability. Like you could have a character without an order, and there's an unordered avatar section. I would say most characters go into unordered stuff. Like most characters that I've seen chose unordered.
Yeah, it's to just scroll down. Each order is built the same way. You have 12 ranks. You start at the lowest, which is 12th, and you go to the first rank eventually. And these show Demon Urge, for example. This is a warlock. This is a demon summoning dude.
The jongleur.
And if you want to be the demon summoning dude, you have to have these skills, or you should have these skills. And if you, and as I said, you have 5, maybe 6 skills to start, so you probably won't have all of these. Well, that's
all
fine.
you need is necrourgy, though. Then you get in at 12th rank, and you're good.
Just sorcery in this case. Yeah.
As an imp beater. Yes.
Yeah, and then you get as an imp beater. Yeah. This is quite the name. And then you skill up sort of. You can get your 11th rank if you also get tricks as an ability, and then you get add 2 points to your weapon ability. This is just the bonus.
Desperado sounds so fucking cool.
Going to that, and so on and so forth. So each rank in this gives you a bit of something. It tells you what you need, and then it tells you what you get. Weapon ability in this case again, and it gets better the more you go down. And there's Desperado is.
There's a really cool thing. Like if you're in Desperado, you get to 10th rank, which you just need Stealing, Urbane, and Evaluation. You could have all 3 of those at your start. Gain the finest set of criminal tools available, and add 5 points to weapons abilities. That's really cool. You get better with weapons as you become a more powerful like rogue. An outlaw.
Weapons ability is a very common thing to get bonuses to as well. And
I mean, even as a mage, you get 2 points and at 11th rank.
It is something, by the way. Everyone has to have the weapon ability. So there's a rule in this game. If you didn't choose weapon ability as a skill, you get it at 10%.
Yeah.
And if you did choose weapon ability at any other percentage, you get one other skill at 10%. That's also free. Everyone gets that. So no one can start without a weapon ability. Which
even if you're really bad at it, you have to have some training to be an adventurer. Which to me, I mean, that's basically 1 in 10 with a 1% critical. By the way, critical hits in this and critical successes are 10% of your skill. I mean, so if you have a skill of 90, you roll a 9, you get a critical success.
I think weapon skill is based on precision, so it would actually have 5 in that skill, most likely around 5, which is
Oh.
nothing. Which is the ability to lift the sword and maybe crit and
Maybe take a swing.
you have
You have 1 in 20 roll.
Yeah.
To comprehend sticking them with the pointy end.
Yeah. I mean, that's
Shit. Hello.
fair enough. I can
Thank
see
you for
that.
the follow, boss.
I can see
appreciate
that aside being very much one where a player who playtested this was like, I didn't take weapons, now what? And then Gary was like, oh fuck you, you
Take
get a 10%. And then another player was like, but I have weapons, do I get anything? And then Gary was like, yeah, take any other skill at 10%. Can we start the game now?
You know, having my experience with AD&D, I will say, and D&D prior, there was kind of an idea that all adventurers should have kind of all adventuring skills. Like, if you're going to be an adventurer, you should be able to swing a sword or stab with a knife, period. Like, you should be able to do something.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of see from there. Because even if you're like a scribe who's going out in the field for the first time, if you don't know how to stab, even with like a butter knife, you're going to die. Somebody's going to kill you.
I mean, the 5% means you're still going to die, but this is a character trope. You know, you can play that character. You can be the guy who lifts the chair up and then doesn't do anything for a turn, and then while the enemy is back is turned, you get bonuses to your hit, and then you can maybe hit them if you're lucky.
But for real, if that scribe hit that like 5% chance, that would be tight.
Yeah, would be, of
That'd
course.
Be really cool.
That is cool. That is a moment you can have like that, and it's just this is a sign of a, I don't know how I would put this, of them of the system not thinking this through and then adding this a bit. Feels a bit tacked on to me, but it's not a bad add-on to say everyone gets a bit of weapon skill. For sure not.
I did find a proofreading issue in the
I'm sorry,
in the Noble. There's a proofreading issue in the Noble. 7th rank Knight Errant. It's Knight Errant with an E. You don't spell it with an A.
No, wait, Noble.
Rank Knight Errant. It's a wandering knight, which I think is really interesting. I think it's interesting that comes after knight, because being a knight errant means that you don't have any land, and so it means you don't matter.
I will give this game the benefit of the doubt and just say this is just a fancy spelling of that, because there's so many fancy spellings in this.
No, because do you know what errant actually means with an A?
No.
Complete. It's not even close to knight errant, as in.
Maybe
as
in it's a complete knight. It's a complete unit, you know.
You're finally complete.
Maximum unit knight.
This is horrible. But then it would be errant knight. That's an absolute unit. I do kind of like the idea of being a knight champion, but then you get up to like lord and baronet, and the only thing I can get, I could be a baronet, but I can't be like a fucking. Can be a king.
Importantly, it doesn't say.
It counts.
I mean, you're also unlanded still, because it doesn't say you get land.
You don't automatically get land. That's true. I hate the art on the Noble page. That is awful.
Oh, yeah.
That perspective is so bad.
I mean, is he naked? I don't know.
No, he's in a robe.
He might be holding it up, and he's naked behind it. Come on. He might be showing
maybe.
The goods, yeah. And she likes it. But
I like that. Yeah.
One thing we should take away from this right now is we can get skills above 100.
Oh yeah.
Yo, on the Warlock page, that Warlock's got like a nubile slave boy right there. Look at him. Like, go down there. He's like this lithe little guy in like a loincloth, and he's anointing him.
Yeah, he might be doing other things.
Look at that. Yeah. It's a little suggestive. Why is this Warlock got servants? Like, he's kind of got drip though. Yeah, like, I could respect that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's a power move to get. It's a real power move to get head while talking to someone.
That's true. I like his little candle too. I don't know why. Yeah. It's just this guy's got. I like the cut of his jib.
Yeah, this is good old school stuff. And then we get to unordered, which is basically, it works differently than the other ones, and it kind of assumes that if you get an ability to 61, you add 1 point to each other health-based ability that you own. Yeah, I think, or maybe even all of them. So it would behoove you to just get all of them learned before you get to 61 in anything, and that's true for all of these. And I can see why Unordered is popular.
Yeah,
Since this is
it's
all of these
it's just
other
this
ones.
open and kind of
All of the other ones are
like
very
accessible kind of thing.
Others are very specific, and Unordered just ain't.
Yeah.
There is a
Very-
thing that I want to make a note of. These orders give you role-playing abilities. They are not just skills. They give you contacts. So if you're a noble, you
Yeah.
know other nobles, and that will come into the adventure or the
Yeah.
thing. If you're a soldier, you know soldiers.
Mhm.
Like you're enlisted.
Again, it does not tell me what exactly that means in the setting, but
It doesn't really, but that's
Yeah.
another thing that's like, oh, it's
Yeah.
up to the GM.
yeah, it's up. You would ask the GM at this point. That's kind of fine.
Oh yeah, you
I wouldn't
totally would. Yeah.
expect these to be. It's good that they fit on a page. It's fine, and you're always gonna get to a point where you have to ask, what are warlocks in your game, Steve? Because it's
Be real, I kind of like this. I like I really like the order system. I think
Yeah.
it's cool.
I
I
think
kind of
that-
wish there was something like that now with backgrounds. I feel like backgrounds should work more like this, where they give you kind of a ramping ability as your character gets stronger, and that's a
I
holdover
actually
from
agree.
AD&D,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
if you were a fighter and you grew as a fighter, you would attract followers and you would get specialty abilities and eventually get land just because you're getting more famous. I think
Mhm.
that's cool.
And the art here really runs the gambit between very good and very not good. Like,
Yes.
this is a soldier art. I don't understand. Um,
That cat does not look
Is the
right.
cat
That's like
soldier?
that looks like a human person.
Yeah.
It
that's
looks
prob-
like a crazy like a gremlin.
yeah.
It's terrifying. It's holding something with its hand.
This isn't even really. It doesn't really seem to.
Well, hold on. In the page about page 43 for the rogue, what is that creature down there? Hold on.
This is probably a very small oaf.
What is it? Oh, it's so cute though. If it was a little oaf out, oh, I'm gonna cry. Look at him. Look at that little man.
But you know what? But
Ah.
by the way, this is the same cat. You know. Between these two
Terrifying.
pages, yeah, it's a
Creature.
black cat, and here we see the basic wolf doing the psionics.
Yeah.
While the human looks on, and the elf is lounging. Elf, and
Done in
this-
fear.
I immediately thought, oh, that's a kobold.
they must be enslaving cat people. Yeah, that might be going on. Yeah, that would be rough.
Well, yeah, it is Morrowind all over.
Yeah, true.
I'm gonna say I love how hard earlier editions of D&D and tabletop games pushed jongleur as a specific thing. As a wandering entertainer, when it's like that's just a bard. Call it a fucking bard.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm
This
not a
is,
bard, a jongleur. By the way, that was a specific kit for bards in AD&D 2. Was the jongleur?
Yeah.
It
As-
was
I remember it too.
It's
I
the
mean-
acrobat of. It makes no sense.
as if
It really
wasn't-
didn't.
As if it wasn't clear
Acrobat should have been the thing.
from the J in Legendary. This book
Yeah.
loves using the fancy words.
Mhm.
Oh, I had a story. I know why it's called Legendary with a J. I forgot to say in the beginning.
Oh yeah, do tell.
Okay, so Gary had square brain.
Mhm.
Gary just had square brain. When presented with a solution, and you'll see this a lot in earlier editions, Gary will just do it in the most straightforward, out of the box way. And that if he presented it to you at a table, you would look at him and say, Gary, that's fucking stupid. Which is the anecdotes that I've gotten from everyone I've worked with from TSR who ever worked with Gary. They said
Mhm.
Gary would make the most head-ass claims and decisions possible. And it was so strange, but it always worked. And so Legendary with a J is because you could not bill it as Legendary with a G. It's too generic of a phrase. So Legendary Adventures with a G couldn't be trademarked, but Legendary with a J can be.
I figured that
Wasn't-
would be it. Yeah. Also,
Wasn't Hercules a thing at the time too?
Yes,
Yeah.
Hercules was a
Oh,
thing. Hercules
yeah.
Legendary Adventures.
exactly.
Kevin Sorbo.
Another branding issue there.
But the thing that kind of blows my mind about this is Gary Gygax's Legendary Adventure, and you could sell it like that, GGLA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Legendary Journeys, look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Sorbo.
yeah, we have
Classic.
another picture of the oaf.
Yo, what about Young Hercules with Ryan Gosling as Hercules?
I don't remember that. Let me go.
Oh yeah, check it out.
Seen that.
Go look up Young Hercules.
I probably. I've seen this. Oh no, that's an ilf.
Yes, yes.
There you
That's
go.
my favorite Ryan Gosling interview, where it's like, "Oh, Ryan, what's the most proud of a project you've ever been?" Young Hercules. I was fighting monsters that weren't really there. They looked like they were there, but they weren't really there. I fucking love it. It's good.
Very good.
I love his bracers, though. He does kind of have drip.
Yeah, totally. This is. I mean, say what you want about these older fantasy shows, but they were really there.
They knew how to costume design.
Yeah, they really did.
It's not realistic armor or anything, but
No.
who cares?
It doesn't have to. He's Hercules. He's invincible.
Yeah, it's gonna have his shirt off anyway, so it's just gonna be clothing. Yeah, so it's fine.
Yeah.
I always liked.
He looks pretty good in that show. Shit.
Yeah, he does.
How can we? No. Yeah, I always liked him. Ares from Hercules.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Good
Oh,
as
he was
villain
good.
clothes, and it's like, yeah, I'm a god. I have drip as well. Look at me.
Hades was also really good, and he was in Xena a lot.
Yeah. Can we?
It's funny. His whole thing changed over time. So he was much more traditional, like evil Hades.
Do we have any pictures of? I mean, it's.
You have to
okay,
type in
we have
Legendary
to
Journey.
do- We have to
Legendary
do,
Journey. You have to be more specific.
Let's see if we can do minus Disney and if I get it. No,
Asher, you're correct. Rough. I love Drake's moves. I love them so much. Yeah, there he is. Got just a vibe. I love it.
Yes, it is. Oh God, you could. Emery, it's not too late to make that your character picture for Locke's game.
I kind of want. Now I'm kind of thinking about it.
That's perfect.
Just put it through a filter.
Just
Oh
put
my
it through.
God.
I'm kind of thinking about it now.
Yeah, here.
Ah.
Yeah, these shows were nice. I liked them back in the day.
Yeah.
So
I
They're
enjoyed them
goofy,
a
but
lot.
they're really fun.
I can't stop seeing you, Nick Cage. Azure, what's going on with Nick Cage?
Young Hercules looks like Nick Cage to Azure, which I could say a little bit.
Yeah,
kind of,
definitely.
yeah. I'd have to.
And then I also like the one series that Bruce Campbell did, that spin-off series, Jack of All Trades.
I don't think that came to Germany.
That was very silly. It took place in 1801, so
Okay.
yeah, they went all out with the costuming for that one too. It was just very silly.
That sounds interesting.
Those shows were wild.
I never watched that because I mean,
Like it
back
was
in
a show
those
where he
days-
had to go and rescue Ben Franklin and stuff like that. It was so silly.
Back in those times, that had to be on German TV for me to care, and that probably never came. I don't actually know.
No,
that.
it was very American.
Well, that doesn't matter. We had 18 and stuff.
Oh wow!
So there's actually a really cool thing. I'm looking at the magic system when we get there. I actually really like it.
Okay, when
think
we
it's
get
really
when we
cool.
get there, I'm gonna kind of
Yeah,
check.
we'll roll back.
I did not read all of the magic system. We'll say that right now. It's too much. It's over
I can
100
get it
pages.
simple, but
That's fine.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So, let's look at
Azure, I
skills.
would pay money for a fantasy story featuring Nick Cage as a noble and Bruce Campbell as an aging captain of the guard.
That would be amazing.
I would pay so much money for that.
Yeah, they wouldn't even need anything. It would be a sitcom. They could just build one set for that. It would work.
I would watch a fantasy sitcom. I want the sitcom of Campbell and Cage.
Yeah, Campbell.
No, it's not even fantasy. It's just them like living in like a studio apartment.
Yeah.
Hey Nick, why'd you drink all the milk?
Uh,
I don't know, man. I was just kind of going around. Just filming for my next movie.
They get a notice that their rent is going up, and then they burn it. And they say, "Oh wait, we can't probably show that."
that would be amazing. So,
I love the idea. Your rent is overdue and you're being evicted. And he just looks at the camera and goes, "Groovy."
would you have?
Or just opens his mouth and says, "Give me some sugar, baby."
So, what do you have? But he has to have the chainsaw hand. He has to have the chainsaw hand.
Question: Are they like married, or do they have like I Love Lucy, like Ricky and Lucy beds? Like separate little twin beds
I think
in the same room.
I think that's for season 2. Season 1 doesn't tell us. They sometimes go to bed, but it doesn't show where they sleep.
Really like that.
Mm-hmm. That would totally be a season 2 reveal. Oh, they sleep in separate beds.
Candle and Cage.
Uh,
Oh my!
you can just hear the jingle in your head, and it does involve singing Campbell and Cage a whole lot. Yeah.
I love it. That's my new Bewitched.
Now I'm like
Laughing
imagining
too hard.
Kristen Ritter's character from Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment 23 being their neighbor.
Oh, that's lore.
Yeah.
That's a deep.
That's a very deep cut, and oh my god. Okay.
We lost
her just constantly saying, "I'll let you two get back to whatever you two do," and then the door closes.
Yes. Yes. Oh, we could have so many guest stars as well. Ah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bruce Campbell's twin brother, Deadeye Dash.
Yeah.
And then it's Evil Dead 4.
Oh man, everybody who did Ash versus Evil Dead would do a walk-on role immediatly.
Yo, wait! Christopher Walken's their dad. Christopher Walken's their dad.
Oh my god, that's too real. That might be true. That's lore now.
And then they just have a scene where he flies away in one scene.
I actually need to watch Ash versus Evil Dead. I haven't seen it yet.
I have also not seen it, but that's on the list.
Which is weird because Evil Dead was a huge thing in my house. My father loved it and watched Evil Dead movies all the time. He was particularly really into I can't remember. Army of the Dead? It's called Army of the Dead?
The third one? Where he goes to the fantasy world? Yep. That's
Army of Darkness.
Yeah, Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness. There we go.
That's also,
Thank you.
Yeah, that's the most popcorn movie of those first two.
I like that movie.
Yeah, I love that one the most.
And it's so good, yeah.
Because they lean so hard into I'm a pulp action hero, but this is also supposed to be horror. Oops.
Yeah, by smart, by smart. I agree.
I'm looking at the cover right now, and it's like my favorite cover ever made for a film. I fucking I love it. The cover's so cool.
Yes, I remember this. Yes, look at him. Look at someone painted this chest for the man. It's not just...
Yes.
And like Bruce Campbell is built like a regular guy.
Yeah. The best detail is these the small dudes that the
little latches.
I love that movie. I loved him in Burn Notice too. Oh god, I love that show.
Bruce Campbell is just a treasure. Huh? That peak that bot. Yeah, this is yeah. Wait. So do we put this head on this body? And it's the perfect man?
Ryan Gosling's smaller face on top of like giant ripped chainsaw handed Bruce Campbell. Yeah.
And naturally, yes, chainsaw hand is.
I like how his face looks photoshopped in there. Like it looks like somebody cut out Bruce Campbell's head in Photoshop and stuck it onto this painterly body.
Yeah,
makes it so good.
They did ask to make him look more handsome, I think, or more. I don't know, more something. And yes, perfect dead bot includes the chainsaw hand. That is just.
I love him so much.
Oh my god.
All right.
So,
all right. Back to the video. I almost said back to the video game. Back to the game.
Back to the game. Yeah. So we have a shit ton of skills. Let's count them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 37. I might have miscounted in the 38 or 36, but whatever. Skills. And you get 4 to 6 of them to start, which, it's not a lot.
No.
And
it's not a ton of them.
Yeah, but again, they are kind of generic skills. So if we look at chivalry again, there's a good example. All activities having to do with courtly behavior, manners, diplomacy, persuasion, precedence, castles, fortification and siegecraft, siege engines, command, management of lands, livestock, riding, etc., I love the ETC, are governed by this ability. The ETC is so good because DMF livestock is in there. Can I also I don't know, this and that?
Yeah.
This
So
come up with
chivalry is one of my favorite skills outside of Pentology because it just like, oh, Sundered, you don't even know. Every skill is like this.
Every skill.
Every skill.
Let's read
You look at commerce right below it.
All
All activities had to do with acquisition, banking, business, buying and selling, commerce, commodities, finance, investing, precious goods, rare objects, real estate, speculation, barter and bartering, trade and finding, trade and trading, etc. are governed by this ability. Creativity, the skill. All activities having to do with the creation of works of artistic sort, carved, drawn, painted, performed, sculpted, spoken, written, and so forth, are governed by this ability.
Yep.
This ability is thus not only useful in and of itself, but lends 10% of the score possessed to an individual in use of any of the following 9 other abilities also possessed: evaluation, metallurgy, minstrelsy, planning, pretense, stealing, tricks, urbane, and waylaying.
Yes, even waylaying.
Yeah. I mean, you can paint your face.
You can get creative.
Rob you creatively.
Yeah. Well, that's where you do like the classic like bodice ripper on a gal and have her like run out and go like, oh no, my husband just got wounded out in the woods. Then you roll up with 10 of your boys and fuck them up, steal their shit and send them on their way. You know?
Now it's like
I would still say
makes you want to play like an art critic who's also a mobster or something.
Yeah. These skills are still
I love that.
Let's say differingly useful to an adventurer. Because for example, chivalry, each 5 ability points possessed add 1 point to weapon ability and any weapon-based harm inflicted by this individual. So if you have 50 chivalry, you add 10 to your weapon skill and 10 to your damage, which is fucking big. And which is
so good.
Yeah. And I think savagery is what orcs can have. That's all. That kind of works the same. It's less above though. It's only 10 points. Missile or striking weapon, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
A lot of these skills just give you other stuff. And
I like it. I like that idea a lot, that your skills like impact your the way that you engage with combat. Pentology is my favorite one. Can I read this one off?
Of course.
All right. First, you add points to your health rating when you initially select an ability.
Every ability does this. Each
every
ability
does
is
this.
put to one of the attributes, and you add this. Yeah.
So here it is. All activities having to do with general knowledge of broad but shallow nature, available materials, basic building, composite devices, contraptions, ingenuity, jack of all trades work, jury rigging, make-to-do solutions, makeshift devices, salvage, tinkering, unlikely repairs are governed by this ability. For example, a nomad carpenter will have both mechanics and this ability at a relatively low score, totals and performs rough work very well with high mechanics ability score. Basically, it's literally just your skill for jack of all trades.
Yeah.
You can add this to literally any skill that you ever have.
And I mean, any skill that's
insane.
Not purely physical. You can't do I don't know, cartwheels with Pentology, but Pentology can repair any item you have and so on. Yeah.
But think about this. If you are a smith and you use metallurgy, creativity, and Pentology, they all work at the same time.
Yeah. It would depend on
nuts.
Yeah, it's a thing of, with Pentology, your repair might not hold forever, but it's quick. And if you use metallurgy, you do it properly and well, and it takes longer. This is all very up to interpretation. And
I want to use Pentology on my weapons roll.
These are very broad. So, I mean, I kind of have this in my notes here. So if you have, for example, I would want to make a D&D rogue. The skills that would be useful to me would be firstly weapons, because I want to fight, you know. Evaluation, to know what if things are valuable or not.
Pretense.
We are getting to it.
Pretense is all of your acting skills.
Yes.
And waylaying.
I actually didn't put pretense on here, but you're right, it should be on here. Oh no, I have it optional. I said evaluation as also optional. Kind of because, I mean, you don't have to know if the thing you're stealing is valuable, but it would be useful. Not less optional is scrutiny. Scrutiny and minstrelsy, because minstrelsy is basically acrobatics and other things. And that's kind of, bread and butter for your most rogues. Scrutiny is reading other people, if I'm not completely mistaken. Or is it
You also have
perception?
tricks, alibis, artifice, assassination by indirect
German-
means, cheating, concealment of objects.
Yeah, it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah.
I'm just going
yeah.
through them, going through which ones might be useful to you. So, scrutiny, all activities having to do with examining, observing, searching, and watching, as well as researching and tracking down information are governed by this way. So this is perception and stuff. So someone should probably have this. Obviously, stealth would be useful to you. All activities having to do with access, escape, evasion, lurking, silence, skulking, sudden unexpected attack, being unheard in approach or departure, being hidden from view, undetected by watchers, and so forth are governed by this ability. I love these things. It's almost too detailed. Tricks is the next one, which I think was alibis, lying, artifice, assassination by indirect means, cheating,
The big
concealment of
grease is at the bottom.
Yeah, it's just.
It also
And
gives more harm that you inflict.
Yeah.
So
Don't you want pan probability?
Maybe.
Don't you want to be a metaphysician?
But I also kind of want Urbane, most likely, if it's a classic rogue.
Urbane is really good.
Evaluation, creativity, and luck, as well as pretense, would be some things you might also want. And should be clear, to be completely well-rounded is kind of impossible to start.
Yeah.
But
you have to learn these things as you go.
Very broad. It's not that big a problem as you might think. It's not like, oh, I have my rogue, but I only have, I don't know, 5 or 6 pips, and so I can't have deception because I have to have this and that because of my background. So I'm going to be shit at deception basically forever. Unless I take.
But you could take commerce instead, and then make everything in relation to the trade.
Additionally, unarmed combat is really useful for rogues because you get additional armor protection per 10 points of the base score when unclothing clad like guards, which is really good.
Again, I just listed what I thought would be something, but there's
so much escape. There's so much.
The point I'm getting at is that almost any ability can be very useful to you, and it very much depends on the background and character you want to make, what you should choose. And this is also why I think being quick to make a character is kind of hard, because I would have to think very hard about this stuff.
So this is why when I originally had my bard Tyrus, his build in AD&D would basically be classified in 5th edition terms as like a scout rogue and a swords bard. Imagine taking like a 10th level swords bard and a 3rd level scout rogue multi-class and making it with 6 abilities here.
Okay, what should you choose?
I don't remember, but God, it was a pain. So I think I took ranging and...
So weapons ranging?
Weapons ranging...
Something to cast spells? Because could Bard cast spells in 2nd edition?
Yeah, they could. They had like druidic spells. So I think I took G or G. I think that was G.
Yeah, a lot falls under that.
Probably stealth?
Yeah, I think stealth.
And then maybe...
Shit.
What was the
I wish I still had my shit.
What was the one where you could talk to people?
I know he had waylaying too, because he was kind of he had minstrelsy and waylaying. I remember that.
Okay.
It may have been 7.
Hey, you get 1 to 10%.
It was whack. It was whack. It was so busted in terms of like, just do this. And some people had it pretty fine. I had one player who was, I think he was a half giant or something, and he just was a greater oaf and took like weapons and savagery, and it was like, oh, easy for me. And we had a paladin, and he was like, oh, it's fine by me. And I went from the strongest member of the party because, again, it's AD&D. So if you die, well, fuck it, you're coming in as a level 1 character. So you're a new adventurer.
Here's my takeaway from this. I really like the skill system, because having broadly useful skills is nice. And it's like it feels to me like this is just secure in its application of skill systems, and it should tie into your character what it means to have minstrelsy. So I might not actually be good at balancing, even if I have minstrelsy, if that's my background, but everything else might be. These are also defaults and stuff. It is nice. For example, I don't think any character, even if you're high level, would actually be good at all of this. Like
you're gonna have a couple of faults during those.
right.
During those
And
definitely.
I think that's something they sort of tell you. You can, if you have a low ability in something, it still means you are good at some things and not so good at others. So that's kind of up to the DM and player to decide together. If you have a global bonus to, for example, knife throwing, while you can't sing or whatever have you, that's set somewhere. And all these passives you gain, those I could take and leave, because it's kind of, this does mean if you want to have a good fighter, you can sort of just pick 5 things that boost your fighting, and then you have a lot more damage and hit and weapon ability than other people.
I think I was under the outlaw order too. I think
could be, because again, if you take chivalry and then the one that makes you stronger, physique, and you take ministracy, and then I don't know, maybe if you take savagery and so on, it's just all compounds to make you stronger in fighting.
Oh yeah, it all works together, and that's I think that's kind of beautiful. Like we talked about at length of how the only Prime Directive game we would play is like Futurama. I would play a Legendary Adventures game if somebody. I would say I would like it if somebody had a digital tool. That would be really helpful. Yeah, but like, I would play this game. I have, and it's not bad.
The math here isn't complicated, but there is a lot of math involved in this, and I would like to have a tool for this as well. I just mean, I think all these synergies are nice, but they can get out of hand, because if I take the 5 or 6 skills that all compound on my weapon ability, I could have a really high weapon ability to start. And it would not mean that I sacrificed a lot, because if I take, what is a fighter in 5th edition? A fighter is basically weapons and physique.
Weapons, physique, pretty much. Maybe savagery or chivalry, depending on your background. And then there you go.
That's about it. Yeah.
If you do, let's just quickly go over this. If I have 50 in my precision, and I take chivalry, which is health based, I would have around 50 health. So let's just say it's simple, 50-50.
Method of that.
So I have 50 chivalry, meaning my weapon skill goes up to 60 immediately. From 50? Oh no, not quite. Because I can't both 100. So maybe I have weapons at max and 80% chivalry. So I would get like 8 points more weapons, and then I could get 3 more points from physique, and then some more points from somewhere else. It can be quite a bonus. It's not as huge as it does appear at first sight, but it is big, and it compounds even more as longer you play, because obviously you can raise these as well.
I like the synergy. I really like the synergy, because like that was one of the things about 3rd edition that kept coming up at my table was, okay, I have skill ranks and these 7 different things. Do they all work together? And so many times as DM, I'd be like, yes. And this is a system that specifically sets out to do that thing. Constantly.
I mean, even down to weapons and how it works. So, like the Ilf that I built right now has a speed of 16 and a really high weapon skill due to having like chivalry and other such skills. I could attack twice right away as a starting character.
Oh yeah, I'm
character
curious. 1. You will have to explain how combat works, because I couldn't wrap my head around it.
It's rough.
We are getting to that soon.
It's all right.
So after skills,
we'll get there.
We are getting
I'm on it right
literally in this book. Literally, I mean, we have to equipment next. Let's go over equipment. So I have to scroll up again. Depending on what skills you chose and in what order, you can pick different equipment off of the equipment list that we are going to look at next. And for example, if we look at Emery's character who has chivalry, so we could choose some things from the high equipment list, because we have that.
My first skill would be chivalry 100%. That stuff's so good.
We will get to why being able to pick from the high list, which I think is only chivalry and commerce that actually get to do that.
Depending on if you've picked it first or not, there are other things.
But actually, the only skills might potentially give you a high list, because I'm just looking and I don't see any high anywhere else, is indeed chivalry or commerce. It's the only way to go to the high list, and the high list is quite good, as we will soon see. But also,
it's
just in general,
military and high are the lists you want to pick from.
Military high, and that's why you pick certain
Special
skills
depending.
as high skills usually, unless you want to.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you can also just go around the table and say, "Hey, Steve, you have high strength, high chivalry, right? Can you pick me up some armor?" Because you get nine picks from the armor from that table.
You could, but also, bro, man, fuck you. That's my stuff. I'm the noble. Get out of here.
Get out of here.
I mean, I'll be your hireling if you're the noble, and then we have a character. And then you have to give me weapons.
I really like the idea of building like a character with chivalry, like weapons, arcane, and like sorcery and stuff. That's really cool to me. I think that this works very well.
Yeah, I do agree that it does work.
I think that just luck needs to not be there. I think it's the only one.
Does luck actually get anything? A special list?
Special list, yeah.
Interesting. So
Equipment
let's
baby.
look at these lists for a bit.
There's a lot.
There is a lot, yes, indeed.
Oh, yeah.
And
I would like to say there are multiple different types of boots, like boots low and hard sold, or boots low and soft sold, boots high and hard sold.
I would like just in general terms what it means to be on low versus high. So the low list, $100 in coin of the realm. So they use the dollar sign for money, which is...
Yes, they do.
It always throws me, but it's fine. You're allowed to do that. I don't like it if you do that, but it's fine. Middle list is 10 times that, and high list is 25 times the middle list. So if you can, do start with high equipment, since you get a shit ton of money for it. Also, if you can have 9 picks on this, I think if you're a human, 5 if you are an elf, because they work a bit differently in how they
armor,
steel
really plate, hat. Damn,
this is $60,000 right there.
Yeah.
A good sword is 50,000. These things come later in the book, so it doesn't list it here. But if you
sword cutting and thrusting with a scabbard and dagger along with sheath, that is crazy. That's so much shit.
I do love that you can have a sword cutting curved with scabbard and dagger along with sheath, or you can have a sword cutting heavy, and you have to lug that around like guts because you don't have a scabbard for this.
That's so cool, though.
It's always going to be on your shoulder. And, can have a fine cape, and this is assumedly like
clothing service. This is cool. The service suit is effectively armor. It's a full cloth garment with girdle leather and pockets, and like that's cool. Like it's an adventurer suit.
You can have 10 doses of poison. You can have a pack horse or a stallion. The difference being unclear to me. By a stallion is pointed out. Or horse, Corsa, Destria. It is a lot, you know? And the lower list is just more like, we have a club, or we have a cloak, a dark cloak. This is informs very well what you can expect here. And you
like stuff on the low list, like you have a beer.
Yeah.
A 1-quart jug of beer.
Specialist. I also like that you just fucking roll on the special list.
And so you could roll special. You could choose luck and roll on special and get fucking $25,000.
Yeah,
and be poor.
Or you get nothing.
You could be a farm kid with fucking $25,000.
Or you get nothing. That's also possible.
Oh, lucky! I'm the guy who found a bag of money. I really like that character now. Holy shit!
Yeah, this is.
He won the medieval lotto.
And this is also very, very good because luck is just the luck skill. You can be lucky sometimes. If I picked that, I would argue constantly that I could use that for everything. But you still roll for your shit, and you can still be unlucky with your luck also and just not get anything. And again, they have military here, which has all sorts of weapons and so on.
Yeah, it's the highest amount of weapons and like thick
again,
armor.
You just pick this, and then if you pick money at all, you can then also buy shit here.
Yeah, out of the equipment list. Which here you go, the general equipment.
Yeah, I'm just looking at if it has the armors here anywhere. Or was that later? Yeah.
There is armor here. Armor.
Yeah, look at this shit. Look at this shit. Look at this. Sword cutting and thrusting with scabbard. $95,000.
Yes. Yes.
It is quite a good sword.
Problem?
$101,000. Yes, problem, because this is stupid.
Yeah.
Also, plate mail is cheaper. I looked at
Yeah.
that first.
Plate mail is cheaper than the sword.
No
I know.
fucking sense at all.
A sword cutting heavy, your generic like guts heavy
Yeah.
sword is $100,000.
This is straight up just dumb. Steel
Okay, now hold on.
Name.
Full steel plate should be cost more than a sword. I'm sorry, game. I don't care.
Now hold on. I'm going to go find.
Steel plate is 50,000. I just most there. So it is the sword is twice as expensive.
Mm-hmm. Now one moment, because I'm going to find the.
Oh yeah, and with the bread loaf, £2, you also get a baker, I guess. No. Obviously.
Oh, it comes with the baker, huh?
Obviously, you know who you get it from, which is fine.
You get the bread, the baker, and the candlestick maker. Ooh.
But we now know the basic amount of money this means. So a sword is worth 30,000 bread, 60,000 pounds of bread. So you can feed the town with your sword if you sell it.
That's pretty good though. Like
yeah.
if you could sell a sword, feed a village.
I don't think anyone could buy your sword.
No, they wouldn't. Nobody would.
Why did they name the donkeys Burro Ass Jack, Burro Ass Jenny? One's 1,500 and the other one's
Jack. Because a Jack and a Jenny is how you refer to that type of animal.
I have no idea. Is it different?
To the uninitiated, just looking at it and going, "Huh?"
So
you have to name them that.
Is it like the female one is less uppity or something? Because do they cost different? I can't find it here.
It depends.
It's under burrow B.
On the B.
But hold on now. I'm fucking mad because I know that in this book there's like costs for buying and selling castles. And you can actually sell like a great sword and buy like a castle. I think it's like something like 4 great swords, and you can buy a castle.
Western Camel, 75,000. Okay.
Pretty cheap.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I can see this game being very swingy, very fast with how much money you get. If the DM just happens to send a knight your way, and you happen to steal his horse and steal his armor and his weapon.
See, this is why being a bandit is the best thing.
Yeah, I agree. Oh my god. So I want to look at those cloaks because I want to know how dumb it is to pick one. What were they called? High list. Clothing, fine suit, colorful. Okay, so it's clothing. Fine suit. Yeah, don't pick fine suit, just wear rags. I don't know. Take 25,000. Take 25,000 bucks and buy 10 of them and have 10,000 left over. So, this is kind of where I run into problems with this pick thing. It could have just been high amount gives you whatever money, and then you buy stuff. That would have been easier. And more realistic, and it would actually have saved them some space. And
but they went really hard on that and just went like, whatever.
It's not bad. It's just, I don't quite see why.
I promise. I think the idea of like just saying, okay, you can pick everything except for the money, then that makes it actually really interesting.
Yeah, but you can pick money one time, which is also the rule they went with.
Yes.
So if you have, I don't know if it's worth it picking 25,000. Probably is. I don't know. I mean,
you're rich walking around money.
The problem with, the min-max idea would be, I'll take nine of the biggest sword you have, please. 700,000 bucks for me. But then you're standing in some. Oh no, they take
podcast naked with a bunch of swords.
You take a war charger horse, because that might actually be the biggest one I've seen. So 125,000. You take 9 of these. Because you're a smart player and you start with them in some village, and then you can't do anything because no one can pay you enough money for these to actually sell them. So yeah, that's why you would pick money and why you wouldn't just min-max in this regard. But I could see that being the content of some very funny comic where you present this list to someone and they be like, yeah, and then I take all horses because they're worth so much. Did you pick animal handling as a skill or whatever it's called in this system? No. Okay. Did you?
They'll run out. They'll run away.
They all run away immediately, and you are left buck naked on the street.
I actually really like that as a character interaction, though. That'd be great.
Yeah. But yeah, and then after that, we get to the thing. So starting from page 63 to page 179 is all magic and all powers explained in different flavors of magic. And I will gonna hand over the reins to someone else for this because I will be honest, I skimmed this, but I did not read all of it.
All right. Okay. So I have some very basic bits here.
Okay.
Basic bits. So I'm going to put a pin in my finding the castle rules.
Okay.
Because I cannot find them. They are lost. They are lost to time. So I went to the wrong computer. I have two computers open right now. All right, let's go to extraordinary abilities. So basically, from going to very minimal to extreme, it takes multiple seconds, depending on how much, and that's your AEPs. It's basically your initiative. So to put it into perspective, casting an extreme spell takes multiple turns, like a ton of different turns. I don't remember how long the turn is, actually, so let me go to the combat rules.
That is exactly what I also couldn't find out. I could not understand. It explains the combat rules, and I can tell you what I know of this.
There are 5 general activity blocks of time in 1 minute real time. So one block of activity is approximately 12 seconds.
Yes, but these are then subdivided into 4 actions per block.
Yes.
And then these are subdivided again to several counts, and I could not find out how those actually work.
Nobody can.
Yeah, great. Okay. Thank you.
So basically, the way that this works is there's actually a Ruby role-playing game that does the same thing. You basically build your turn. So when you're doing your ability block count, you need to make basically 4 separate and different actions can occur in an activity block. So on your turn, which is 1 ABC, it's 1 AB, you choose things like apply wound dressing, climb 5 feet, cock and trigger a repeating crossbow. That's half.
Oh god, it can be half. Okay.
It can be half. So you can do 2 half actions. Throwing a throwing dagger is half, but let's say wielding to attack and attack or defend is 1. So you could theoretically get multiple things. Punching twice is 1. So unarmed is really good. But you can do a lot of shit in there. It's really cool. So like I remember one action I did with Tyrus because he had a really high speed was I attacked twice in a round, which was 2, threw 2 daggers, which was 1, and then I think he immediately I think he faced an opponent or something. Basically, just it's really solid. And then you can do things like advance to attack.
But that also
7.5.
means that if I'm a wizard, while my allies are, attacking 4 times per turn, potentially.
Yeah, you're casting a big spell, and the magic's really fucking strong.
I mean, yeah, the magic is really strong. I agree with that, but it also means if anyone gets to me, I have a big problem because they can really murder me hard. Okay.
Indeed. And so you're basically working on, because remember 5 of those blocks go into 1 minute, and the longest spell you can have is about 20 seconds. Yeah. That's about 2 turns to cast.
Yeah. And so we are very much at a simulation combat kind of thing here because an attack taking 1 second to do as per these rules is kind of realistic, or 2 punches being a second. That's very simulation-y all of a sudden.
Buried.
But then you could do things like cast, Flame Finger with 1 second.
Yeah, it's fine.
And that's not. Yeah, and then you could do other shit. You could do other spells. You can cast more.
I'm just pointing out that we are all of a sudden very simulation-y with the combat. I'm not.
Yes, we suddenly got really hard. This is crazy because this is where we dig into it and we see it with the equipment and we see it some with the skills and now heavily with the combat. This is basically a life sim game.
Oh yeah.
This is medieval fantasy life sim game.
Yep.
You're not making a character to be mechanically advantageous, even though your mechanics are all intertwined. You're making a character to be a character. That's why they're called avatars.
Yeah, that's specifically
how
why.
you're.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of cool. I like this. There's a spell called Turtle Shell.
There's
There's a lot of really cool spells.
Let's give an overview
Uh-huh.
of what kind of stuff we can do with magic. I think that would be a good start. Let me just find the page. So the first one we can have scroll. Just a sec. We're approaching. Would be to have enchantment, which is I think basically, is it more or less buffing and debuffing and stuff?
Yeah, it's your basic kind of it's your basic kind of enchanting magic.
It also has attacks though. It has assets.
It does.
And so on.
Every type of magic has attacks.
Yeah. So this would be, I think, because there's so much in it, kind of like your wizard. You know, this is enchanting.
And then you have like sorcery, which expands on that and stuff like that. So
then, we are having to scroll quite a bit to get through all of these spells because they all have to be explained.
There's a lot, but I like Flame Fan. That's really good. But
I will say right now, I did not read this not because I didn't like it, but because it's just so much and it was warm and I didn't want to. But you can see here, there's a shit ton of stuff you can potentially have, and this is good content because hey, it's the same shit as having 50, 100 pages.
Actually, love the sorcery art. This looks really good.
Yeah, a lot of this is
the art from the sorcery. That's really solid, neat. Yeah. I like that a lot.
So we're at T
but then
already.
you get like.
Next one is GRG, which is conjuring elemental stuff and also some attacks. So this is mostly summoning based.
So yeah, GRG is that. Necrogy is your usual fucking necromancy. Psychogenics is your psionics. Sorcery is summoning. That is like summoning. Other stuff, and the theurgy is your deific kind of stuff.
Sorcery is
cleric.
Summoning specifically demons, from what I remember. And this it goes hard.
Oni.
If you look at which are this is just different flavor of demons, I think. If you look at the summonings, you can summon a shit ton of stuff. Devati, Genie, 25,000 kinds of elemental. It is, I hope there's stats for these somewhere because this book certainly doesn't have them.
There is. I have it right here.
Good.
Beasts of Legend.
Oh, it does have basic stats as we see here. A fog golem, for example. By activation of this supernatural power, the Gygax causes air to become a palpable fog that forms into a human shape and is volitant, sorry. Although it has no brain or intelligence per se, the automation has a directing energy which will enable it to obey a series of up to 3 successive commands. Thus, one might require to move in some direction, stop, and attack anything that comes within 30 feet of it. Once charged with one or more commands, the golem remains active until destroyed. The golem of fog thus created as the ability has the following statistics. So it actually just gives you basic stats. And all of these, there's so many golems and so many.
Too many.
Yeah, so it's actually too many. You could have been a bit more generic with these, yeah.
Very much so.
The fuck golem is not in here. That's probably in an expansion side end.
Oh yeah, it's in the Book of Erotic Fantasy.
Legendary Book of Erotic Fantasy.
Yes.
Mud golem, refined element, poison wood.
Erotic with a K.
Yeah, it's true, of course.
A book of erotic orgies.
Then we have
orgies got a J in it.
Yeah.
What is this? Second power.
Shit, man, Theurgy's really dope.
Gygax can summon actual elementals as well, not just golems. These are better than golems, and they are just basically they're actual intelligent beings. And oh my god, it is a lot. And Necrogy, that is summon undead, and I guess Life Leech and whatnot might be in here.
I wanted to look like the Wicked. Supernatural force resembles a metal rod. Oh shit, that's cool. You make a rod and beat the shit out of people with it. You make a supernatural rod and beat the shit out of people with it. That's awesome. I would love to give that ability to a cleric. That's so cool.
Yeah,
I love it.
Book of Erotic Fantasy is really it's really something. So that, and it's
I would love to do a read through of that, but we can't do that on Twitch.
No, we can't. We can't show it. I mean, we could probably talk about it. I would just say the eunuch being a prestige class is kind of a shit one. Psychogenic is it psi powers? There's a lot of these,
basically.
Yeah.
As well. And then we have we're gonna get to
sorcery for your summoning, and then theurgy for your clerics.
And theurgy for clerics, yeah, and paladins.
So, like, if you wanted to make a traditional paladin, you would do like weapons, chivalry, physique, and theurgy.
Yep. Exactly. And then depending on which kind of magic you have, there's different ways of having it. For example, I think one of them is like you have to have a magical tablet with your spells on it, and one tablet can fit 4 spells.
Is basically,
and so on and so forth.
That's enchantment.
Yeah, that might be enchantment. True.
It's really interesting to me, the idea that you don't really have a spell book. You don't have to have it on you. You just have to have it.
Yeah.
So it's just you have to possess it, which is really weird to me. The idea like you go to cast a spell in combat and the GM goes, well, you can't have that. Why? Because you no longer possess it. Like somebody fucking repossessed. They repoed your storage container and I don't have your spells anymore.
Someone stole your tablets, which you hid away or something. Yeah, that's interesting stuff. But
I'm gonna go back to the equipment list and I'm gonna go to magical because I want to see because you would start with one of those tablets.
Yeah, I think you can.
Yeah, you would. You would be able to.
It was on the magic list. I remember that. Oh yeah, how much money would one cost? That's also interesting. Is it listed?
Hold on. I'm going in.
Theurgy devotional object.
Jeez, I just love the names of so many of them too, like Voyage to Unnameable Realms.
Yeah.
Memory tablet, list of any 4 not available. Fuck you. Give me my memory tablet. How do I get one then?
That's just buying with money. You can't buy with money, but you can have
no money.
The magical list.
You can.
Ability possess the extraordinary. Choose any each section contains 1 item. There was one on here, I'm pretty sure. Memory tablet. List of any 4 extraordinary things activations.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of the picks. It's on a theurgy.
Yep.
So
you would need to just
have to pick this in order to even have enchantment.
4 spells. Yep.
But I guess you can have enchantment as ability as well.
You can. Yeah. It's a skill. So hold on, Mike.
No. How all of this is? Oh no! This is just if you can have it. Is it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, that's so hard. That is not well formatted.
No, it's not.
Choose? No, that can't be what they mean.
So yeah,
what they mean.
So like you can choose from enchantment. You can pick up like 4 out of your magical list of just enchantments. Yeah. Like you could do that, but like you're gonna start with like 2 spells, maybe 2 or 3.
Yeah,
it's really weak. Spellcasting in this game is really weak, and it's something that's like it's weak but really good. Like the actual spells are super strong, and you can do a lot of them.
It is very much the thing. You can start this game as a really good fighter, quite easily. Yep. But you will start as a very, let's just say, very specialized mage.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot
of hello, Ophi.
And a lot of stuff you could be doing in it is kind of, you might not want to take the big spells because then you're going to stand here
for 2 actions.
Casting Acid Globe. So Acid Globe is a moderate one. Moderate is already 4 seconds, so full round action to cast that.
17 to 20 points of harm to everything it contacts.
Yep, Acid Globe
3 inches in diameter.
It does big damage because let's just talk in general. How you roll damage in this game is if your max damage, for example, would be 20, then you roll a d20. And then
Yeah.
you're just going to say everything from 1 to 16 is also a 17. So this thing is pretty good guaranteed damage.
Yeah. It's really solid.
Yeah.
Really good.
And it also damages stuff as well. You know, it's not just damage.
Yeah, it also damages the armor directly.
Objects and armor, because armor takes damage for you. It reduces damage when things hit you.
Yeah.
But like, man, there's so much cool stuff in here. Like Askimil's Shifting Shadows, a low moderate power. You create a cloud of moving shadows in a radius up to 30 feet around you. It requires light to activate, but the shadows caused by the energy are sufficiently substantial to create shadows of their own. So that doesn't need to be said anyways. It just makes more fucking shadows. Any individual other than the activator of the power attempting to aim a weapon does so at a penalty equal to 1/2 the individual's normal probability. So like you just say fuck you.
Yeah,
Disadvantage.
Nothing. Yeah, I'm just gonna look at Zap because that sounds like a fun one. This supernatural power enables the enchanter to attempt to immediately dissipate the activation energy of some other power in operation, unless the energy is of persistent sort, not due to expire in foreseeable time. There's a probability equal to the enchantment ability score of the activator that the Zap power will succeed in activating the other power's energy. That's actually really bad because Zap is an extreme. Zap is a 20-second action. I thought this would be just Zap someone out of existence. Oh well, not all of these can be winners. Some of these are gonna be very situational, but it's also a thing of this kind of is like a good tool for. Come on, let me just mark this. For the DM to be like, yeah, you have this, find this on a tablet. It might be useful to stop the big ritual, you know, which our campaign is about. And not to worry about too much about if it's going to derail everything else otherwise, because now the whole fight is going to be about defending your character when he casts Zap.
But I kind of like that, though. I kind of like the idea that like the fight is built around defending the wizard. That's kind of neat.
I said it was good. I said it was good. I like this.
No. That's why I'm saying like it's frustrating and it's strange and it's very odd, but I do like it.
It's very much.
I really like it.
Yeah, simply put, I also like it. It's reminiscent kind of Shadowrun.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of right away.
In where you have also spells. I mean, a lot of these can also be generally applicable and useful. Like you could be like, I'm gonna use Asset Globe on that fucking lock and it's gonna open then, right, GM? And the GM's probably gonna be like, yeah, let's be real, it probably is.
Don't melt it.
Yeah. And that's very Shadowrun and very not D&D, because D&D usually has
very particular about how spells work.
Indeed, particular is the word, yeah.
My favorite one is still Elephant of Surprise.
Where's that?
That's under enchantments. Page 75. You literally create a simulacrum of an elephant within 300 feet, and then it becomes enraged and then charges in a random direction immediately.
I love it.
This is perfect.
Fuck you!
I can just imagine like a wizard in a tower.
Sort of direction, possibly towards the activator, but affecting all in an 8-foot wide path. The construct
you could put extra magic power into it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing.
You can focus on it, make it even more dangerous. I just like the mental image of a wizard in a tower.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay. I just want to give this to a wizard in one of my games. I think that'd be so good. Yeah. It's like you cast an elephant at you. Fuck you.
This is one of
like people knocking on his front door. He's just so tired of these adventurers coming over. Get out of here! Then summons this elephant of surprise.
This reminds me of the best, most OP spell of Hackmaster, which was Hurl Animal. You could supernaturally hurl an animal at to 300 feet and strike people with them, and depending on how big the animal is, it does different damage. It was like a second level spell, and it was really good because we had a game legit, where I gave that spell to a caster, and then we fought at a farm, and he was the king of the mountain because he had that fucking spell and could just hurl the cows. It did so much damage.
Oh, that's great. I love it. I love it.
Man.
Now I'm just like, this character is coming together in my head now. I'm just imagining like Jafar, like retired and grumpy because he never won. And that's the one spell he knows really well now is Elephant of Surprise. And he uses it every time somebody bothers him.
And just imagine this.
I love that character.
This is an extreme. This is a major spell, so it's going to take, I think, 2 or 3 turns to cast. But imagine we have the drop on the bandit camp. Just put this in the middle.
Yeah.
Someone's going to get owned. And it's going to be great. It's going to be a fun time, and everyone's going to talk about this forever. This is
exactly.
These are very, very fun abilities, and they are so good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, I mean, if you take any of this, you have to take at least one dumb one. This is kind of dumb, but also so good. Oh my god, yeah. So yeah,
Jinker's Rope Golem. That's another good one. Page 50.
There's 30 pages just off page 50. Oh, this is
or page 80, whatever.
Oh, I was about to say
the fonts made me squint.
50 is the
page 80.
There's a light to heavy rope equal to at least 100 feet in length to form into a humanoid shape and become a volatant. Although it has no brain or intelligence, blah blah blah, same automaton nonsense. Mm-hmm. This golem attacks as a lasso, inflicting 1 point of harm, plus a whip, inflicting 0 to 2 points of harm against 1 or 2 targets. Disregarding all armor or protection. I love it. It's so good.
Yes. And it can garrote people too, which is fun.
Yeah. And it catches you as well. It's gonna tie you up and stuff.
It's basically a bondage golem, you know?
Also, I really like Jump Back Jack. It's such a weird preternatural power, but like it allows you and everyone within 5 feet of you to return to a previously marked location up to 100 feet. That's so fucking cool. I want to use that as a first level spell so bad.
Yeah, that's a good one for just.
And then jump way back, Jack.
Especially considering if you have a bit of time, you can make several locations within 100 feet of each other that you can use round per round.
I take back what I said about the silly golems. Like, the Eagles will have a leather golem on the next page. I mean, come
on. They missed the latex golem, though, so hey.
Just leather golem. I like that.
Oh, Crutzers. Oh my god, yeah, there's again, there's so much. And it can't go
a lot of spells.
But it's fun.
They're good.
It's fun stuff. It's also, you can... The through line of this book is be inventive with what you do with this shit.
Oh, yeah.
Again, the elephant is really bad if you're in combat and casting that. I mean, you can kind of force it, because if you're in an alleyway, it's 50-50 who you kill, either yourself or the other guys.
Exactly.
But if it's in open terrain, it's kind of useless. But it's I mean, you could also probably, if you have 2 casters, one casts the elephant, the other casts the walls around it, so you can choose its direction. It's
now I'm like, I'm combining lore in my head now, and I'm like imagining in the Witcher universe somebody claiming the Elephant of Surprise instead of the Law of Surprise.
Thank you for the blood.
My brain.
One little gnome. Thank you very much.
Oh, that's good.
But yeah, I mean, there's got to be a magic wall in here somewhere. So if you have a team of 4 mages, 1 takes the elephant, 3 make the walls, and then you can choose the direction of the elephant. That's a team effort.
We'll call that the mage corral there.
Yeah. You have to aim the elephant. It makes sense.
And all of them have to wear cowboy hats or something.
Of course.
Just to make it extra weird.
Yeah, cowboy hats and spurs and no shirt.
Yeah, no shirt, because they didn't buy that during character creation.
Yep. They have no
too bad.
And yeah, there's...
Oh, I like those chaps. And then all 4 of them look down and say, thank you.
Hey, by the way, I'm going to send you an old school D&D spell. I want to see what the vibe is on it, okay?
Oh, we have more memes. I didn't even see that.
I just want to see how you guys...
I feel pretty good about it.
Oh, when Bruce made Mickey. We should pitch that. Pitch that to them. They might actually do it. Shouldn't call them washed up though. Bigby's
Oh,
feeling
now
fingers,
this is
Bigby's slapping hands.
excellent. Oh, this one's excellent. I love this one.
Bigby's dexterous digit. Where are these from? What are these from?
These are old. These are old spells. I think from either 2nd or 1st edition. They're old.
Yeah.
They're old shit.
Back when Bigby was many different kinds of hands.
There's actually one that I've used in older editions called Bigby's Fantastic Fencer, which basically summons a 12th level fighter with fucking 15 hit points. Longsword. It's really cool. Oh man. I really do like Bigby's Pugnacious Pugilist, which literally just summons 2 like punching hands.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
It's literally you just make it like an arcane real steel going on.
It's
you shadow box and punch with magic hands. I love it.
Yeah, I think
that's goofy shit.
I mean, Bigby is probably just one of the original players, right? And he just invented spells.
I actually know this one. Okay. Bigby was an NPC wizard that was a follower of another player.
Makes sense.
But like a lot of those original wizards were player characters. Yes.
Yep.
And Bigby also, I believe, wore purple, and his symbol was like a bee. Hold on.
Sense. That would make sense.
That makes sense.
Let's just Google.
I'm gonna look up Bigby. Oh, he looks like a creep.
Yes, there's a comic about this. Oh, Bigby Wolf. Okay.
Look at him. Look at this man. He looks like he's gonna ask you what like like what bra size you wear.
Yeah, and then he's gonna recruit you to the Brotherhood of Nod later to conquer Africa.
He was also evil, by the way. He was an evil wizard.
Oh, this guy was evil? What?
He was evil. Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. Look at him.
Yeah. It just looked like Radagast the Brown up to something.
Yeah.
There, I did a better version of that one. That's a little more kind to them.
Basically, yeah, he was an evil wizard who hung out with Mordenkainen. And they made a bajillion spells. Hold on, I'm gonna go grab a ton of them. I'm gonna go get you just all of them.
Wait, what's the name of that wizard?
Bigby.
Okay, so
you better post.
What do they call it? Bigby and Morty.
Oh, Drake, you better post all of these on
Big and Morty.
Twitter later. Or are they already on Twitter?
Yeah, I'm posting them all on Twitter.
Okay, I have to retweet and like after the show. Oh my god. Okay, to get back here.
Classic. I used a ton of these. These are good shit.
I'm just imagining being voiced by Rick and Morty voice actors, and no.
I would say Mordenkainen voiced by Rick would make a lot of sense.
Yeah. And
Mordenkainen is kind of like that.
Yeah, Mordenkainen was always the planner, and he liked to live well. Yeah.
He's cool. See that. He's really cool. I like him. I like his weird fucking like staff. But anyways, let's get back on. What do we want to do next? What do we want to get to? How do we want to talk about that? What do we want to talk about?
This is a very good question. Quick look at the character sheet, which I mean, it looks like you would expect. I don't have anything to say. It's functional. Let's talk about weapons. And then I have questions.
I'd love to.
So
yes.
So the weapon table. Let's lean because we can't turn this. So most weapons.
I have it turned on mine.
Do a 20 max damage. A few select ones do less, like here the caltrops or the whip, which is not on this page, but hey, your punches do a d4, and your certain weapons do more than 20, and you have to think about how you do a d30 or d40 if you don't have one. Because lance is d40. But you can figure that out at the table. It's fine. These. So again, if you the base damage rules are always the same. If it does 1 to 20 damage, you roll a d20. If it does 3 to 20, you still roll the d20. But 1 and 2 is also 3. And so weapons are kind of swingy with their damage. And if you don't,
then you get like great swords, which are more like sword cutting heavy. It's more consistent.
Yeah, the extra long flail is also pretty good, and there's some damage types, which I don't think are actually explained if what the actual difference is in the book. At least I couldn't understand it. And they have some of these have ranges, how big they are. So you have to actually. Something is happening with your mic, Drake.
Oh no!
Oh,
I just heard something. I don't know. It's fine. It's gone.
I probably bumped it.
They have speed class, which I don't know what it is either. They have precision bonus, which is just a hit bonus. So if, for example, if you have only 10 in your weapon skill, you're still gonna get 20 bonus to just punch someone, which is kind of fair. Anyone can punch. And you might want to use a club because there's a 10 bonus and so on and so forth. Swords also generally give a bonus. So,
and you've got missile weapons, and there's a fucking billion of them.
Yeah, and then...
Oh, yeah.
Siege weapons.
And then you have siege weapons. So I have questions about these in specific.
Yeah, what's up?
What the heck is a pick?
Pick?
It's on a
what do you mean by like that?
It's on a siege weapons.
Yeah, it's under siege weapons.
Claw is also on a siege weapons, but I want to know what the pick is. What is this? Because I tried to Google this and I could not find out what this is.
I would assume it's like a spiked ram. Like a battering ram would be like a blunt head, and I would assume it's something like a heavy steel cap.
Oh, that could be it. Yeah, sure. And
that's very pointed.
And the claw would be something you hook into the wall to pull it down, maybe. So
yeah,
this table could have used a lot more explanation because these things really aren't very well explained.
Here's the crazy thing. I think I have an explanation for that. People who were playing D&D would probably know.
Yeah,
that's what's crazy. Like again, and writing from that mindset of like, oh, people would already know this, duh.
Yeah.
And not like thinking, oh, I'm making these rules for new players. Plus, I think siege weapons are mostly for the GM.
The siege weapon stuff is really not. So the harm base also here, since you can harm anything, this harm is not meant. We are not gonna use the mill scythe or the ram against the person. But if you are in the way,
well, I don't know.
This is the damage you're gonna get.
Those are what you're into.
How you roll D35, I'm not sure. But you will have to find out because do it, motherfucker.
Fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and pick out.
And it's like these radiuses. In this case, the ram can't be used against one next to you or at medium range. It's always long range at 10 yards difference, I guess. Mm-hmm. And stuff. It is unnecessarily complicated. In this,
I'm just gonna say, if you get hit by a fucking like a light engine, like a stone light engine, you're fucking dead. 11 to 30 plus 17 to 20, you're gonna get splattered.
I mean, that's not even the heavy one. That's 11 to 30 plus.
Oh, that's the basic one. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gone.
Yeah, but I mean, you are safe under 480 yards, so it's fine. Just run towards the catapult.
Exactly.
Here
you go. Just sprint towards the catapult, you'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, the bolt thrower is also it also owns you.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, flame engine is unexpectedly bad, actually, 5 to 10.
Mm-hmm. But you got to look at too. Suffer from potential harm. Yeah. Yeah, they burn per time.
Yeah.
Per hits.
If the flame arises from a substance that will continue to burn, such as lamp oil. Oh yeah, okay, you will continue to burn. So that is how you get killed there, yeah. Okay. Let's go back to the normal weapons because I think this is an interesting table because this very much so shows where Gary came from. Because yes, of course we only need basically one page for siege weapons because everything is super clear. And
super clear.
We are obviously all on the same page about siege weapons. So I just here's some small footnotes, but I'm not going to explain what a ram is or what a pick is. I'm not even going to bother writing anything.
And here's the funny thing: he doesn't even use the word ballista once in that table.
Yeah. It's bolt launcher. That's so weird.
Yeah. It's heavy, light, or medium bolt launchers.
Yeah. And I'm assuming it's engine or engineer or something for the abbreviation.
It's an engine, bolt engine. I would
Bolt
say.
engine. Oh,
And
okay.
By the way, people who are playing this game, I would really say just get the light engine. I mean, let's be real. 3 to 5 is pretty good. You're paying out the nose for the big ones, which is just a bit more damage. It's not really worth.
And your speed class is also much faster.
Yeah, you shoot twice, or shoot once, and let's be real. The range. Okay, I mean, you push them, and it might take a while to push your light bolt towards the heavy one, and you might die doing that. But yeah, that's why you get more siege engineers to keep pushing, because once you are at 720 range, you're gonna win.
Yes. See, I mean, all you have to do is get legions of people to jam up their kill receptors. Their kill count will go too high. They self-destruct.
Yes.
Waves upon waves of my own men.
But yeah, so that's that. You can divine how combat works in this case, but let's talk about armor now as well. For that we have to, I think, actually it's past the weapons. Is it? No, it's before. Okay, let's find the armor.
I'm at the armor table.
It's page 193. So you have different sorts of armor, which has different sorts of protection. Gives you different sorts of speed loss. So plate armor does slow you down overall. And it has hit points of its own, and so it absorbs damage. And what happens? Let's say you attack. Let's say I'm going to roll my dice. I'm not sure if you can hear.
Yeah.
I rolled a 13, so let's say I do 13 damage. If I wear full plate, in this case, with a helmet, because or whatever, it just all gets...
It does not...
all goes here.
It gets negated.
Goes clang, and my armor took 13 damage.
Exactly. So it takes off of the absorbable health of your armor, and if somebody could do 660 points, then you're done.
Yeah, then it's broken. If it goes above it, you actually take damage.
Yeah, you do.
Oh no, wait.
But you'll notice a lot of those.
It's wrong. Actually.
What's up?
You can play it a different way. You can also say that each of these is 5% damage blocked. That's the other way you can play. And it depends on
the optional rule. Yeah.
So this would be then 65% of my 13, which is like 8 gets blocked, and I take 5 damage, armor takes 8 damage. That's also what you can play. I would not play that, to be honest, because I think that makes plate armor not good enough.
Yeah, you just make it full negation, and then you just have to keep your armor fixed. By the way, armor fixing is by point of health, and it's expensive.
It does cost
very
a lot.
expensive.
Yeah, it's relevant to start with
and there are spells to do it too.
Yeah, useful spells in that case. But that is how armor works. So it's kind of, you can play it simple, you can play it complex. I would always play the simple just for ease of play, because again, it's very easy to subtract 13 from the damage I just did. It's not easy to subtract 65% from 13. I mean, it is not difficult, but it's also not easy. You know what I mean? And also some things just take less damage or more damage depending on how big they are, which is this. So if you're fighting a huge monster, it's not going to care that much about your damage, because it's going to shrug off a lot of it. It's going to take either -12 or 60% less damage from your attacks. So this is for your dragon fight. And
they also have an optional rule earlier for doing damage for strong attacks. If you do more than 10 points of damage, regardless of the protection available, you'll still do at least 1 point of harm.
Yep. You can crit, which is at 50% to your damage. So you roll d20 and d10. If the d10 shows max, you roll the d5, and so on. And we have to also remember that the skills we took, like chivalry, for example, add to this damage. If we have 50 chivalry, I would specifically roll at 10 to my damage for every attack. Because every 5 points of chivalry give me 1 point of damage. Which is why you want to have that skill even higher than 50 during play. And why raising skills is kind of important, you know? And
because it exponentially increases your abilities.
Right.
Yeah.
This gets to the point where armor is almost not good enough, very quickly in my opinion. Because if we go to that example with the 50 chivalry, So we are already doing d20 plus 10 damage with any weapon basically we can wield. And then we add a bit more from other skills, so you can do like plus 15 damage with any weapon if you build like that.
Yep.
And that means your base character can just ignore the half plate protection. And at that point, you get quickly to the territory where it makes sense again why they would have a rule for 65% damage gets blocked.
Yeah,
because
per
then,
percentile.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So while this sounds is quicker, you might want to do more with the percentages just to not instantly die all the time, because enemies would also have these skills, maybe. And
But then you get stuff like extraordinary protection and things like that, where like magic armor comes into play and it gets all crazy.
So it is again.
It does.
That puts me back right to the beginning where it says it's a simple system which you can easily learn. Yes, you can make a character in this in 5 minutes, but you're probably not going to have a very good character. The system is very rewarding to the min-maxer in its own way.
Oh yeah,
It is.
Which is unavoidable with any point-buy system almost, and in this case, it's not the worst I've seen. And it's kind of fine as long as people are on the same page about what kind of powerful character they want to make. You can.
I don't know. My belief is always if a player is going to spend enough time to learn the system and create a really powerful built character within the rules, that's their fun. Let them have it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Same as the guy who over role plays.
You only get into problems if you have one guy who spends 10 hours building the character and the other guy just goes like, yeah, I'm going to be an oaf because that's funny.
Well, I mean, if both of them like that, then you're good.
But
that's totally fine.
Yeah, but you could run into problems. That's my point. If a player feels completely underpowered, but then I would just as a DM be like, yeah, then rebuild your character. It's fine.
Build your character like that. Then that's perfectly fine. If that to me is always an issue with your player, because I've had that guy before. Yeah. He was actually playing in the Legendary Adventures game in which he goes, my character fucking sucks, and it's like, dude, you show up every day 5 minutes late and scribble down a bunch of shit on your sheet, and you barely ever have your character sheet to reference. Like you make a new one every time. You don't know what we're doing. And your characters are constantly underbuilt. That's your fault. Like, nobody cares.
And again, if it's the player's fault, then a bad player is going to be bad. If it's just a display, someone who didn't know, because at the time, then I would always allow the respec. And that's something I would say to any GM. Don't be anal about the rules. Just let players have some freedom, and then it's going to be a way nicer experience at the table for everyone.
Work with them. Just work with your players.
And that's as the last bit about what we're going to talk about here. How do you actually advance your character? So every play session, you are supposed to get merits.
Yes.
If you are not doing okay, it's about 250, supposedly. If you are doing very well, it's about 375. And if you completely fucked up and everything went wrong, it could still be 25. I kind of disagree that poor performance should be less merits, because it's fun. It can be fun to fail, but as a DM, you're free to do so as you like. So baseline is about 250. It's
okay, but so this is where I kind of think this is not like, oh, the player failed the role. This is the player as being a poor avatar. Like they're not playing into the fantasy, or they're not they're not working with the group, or they're not being very, very heroic or adventurous. And I think that's perfectly fine to dock points for. If you want to show up and advance and be a better character, be a better character. The only way to do it is to engage and have fun.
I agree. That's how you should read it. You are right. Did not think on my feet there for a second. Okay.
I do that in my current D&D games, where I allow people, my current role-playing games, I don't tend to award experience lopsidedly to my players in 5e, but like I used to. I don't care about it. I didn't care about it in old editions, but it's not how 5th edition works. But I still allow my players to vote on VIPs and give them special bonuses because you played your character well.
Sure, that's fun. It can be fun. Or just giving that out because someone did a cool thing. Yeah. And you can then spend your merits according to this table. So as we can see here, advancement is going to take a while. If your one session of ambiguous length is 250 merits.
Yes.
And getting a skill one higher if it's 19 or less, already costs 200. You can see that this is very much designed for this way of advancement. At least very much designed for long campaigns and frequent play.
Yes.
Because if you don't play this frequently, you're never gonna advance in anything. And
Yeah.
So either you.
We played for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe advanced, I think, like 7-8 times.
Yep.
And like, it was also because the GM kept forgetting to actually give merits out.
Oh yeah, that's
after sessions.
Oh yeah, that's such a pet peeve of me.
Yeah,
I hate it when a GM goes, yeah, there's XP in this game, and then you don't get it at the end of the session because everyone forgets. Because we are done for the day. It was cool. We're talking about what happened. No one cares about XP. And next week we all don't really remember how much XP it should have been. Yeah, but you see here, 2,500 points get a new ability. A new ability would then be got at, I think, 20% of attribute, which is the only time the attributes matter. So I don't think you would ever raise attributes past start. I would always go for skills.
Yeah, especially because, like, look, at 1,000, that's 1 point of health. But like, if you get a skill, or an ability, then look at that. You add more points to your original. So for 25,000, you get a new ability plus
2 points of
2 spends. Yeah. So it just makes sense. You're getting a 2-for-1 deal.
The only time
on the other 2 previous,
you might consider this if it's like, okay, it would round up all of a sudden if I take this 1 point, maybe.
Yeah.
Also, on new psychogenic powers you can get for 3,000. So again, this is going to take you a while to rank up. So either you give more XP as a DM, or you live with this, and it's just going to take a long time.
Oh yeah.
And I think, and you also have repute or disrepute, which is your reputation basically, which can help you or hinder you. And the good thing is disrepute, if you're just an evil asshole, that can also be good for you, depending on how you use it.
Yes.
It's not always going to be negative. It's just you're known to be an asshole. You know, you're known to be a bad guy, so that's going to be a thing. Good luck.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
I like that too.
And I think then we are basically done, right? I mean, this is the book.
It's
this
a solid
system.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's just a decent system. It definitely does what it wants to do, and it's fun to play. I can tell you that from experience.
Oh yeah.
It moves really quickly. The way that turns are structured are actually lightning fast. I would say almost like 3 or 4 times faster than D&D. Like it just goes, and you're doing actions really fast too, because you're doing like throwing a dagger, attacking, jumping, and doing all sorts of crazy shit all at once. It's really good.
Talk about combat resolution, so just really quick, because I remember that one. So if you have 50 weapon skill and you have a sword with +10, you have a 60. Then you look at what if the enemy is dodging, then that subtracts something, and then you roll on the under. And if you roll under your skill, you hit. Congratulations.
Exactly.
And there's no active defense or anything, so it's a quick system. So you just have to look at one table, which is gonna be somewhere in here, this table. To just know how much plus and minus you get on your roll, and then it's fast, so that's fine.
Fast and it works.
Yeah.
It's really, this is going to sound strange. It's not very complex, and it's not very deep. It's like a toast with a pretty solid pat of butter on it. Like it's going to be fine, and it's going to work for you, and that's it. That's what you get.
It can be. I think it's overall pretty deadly system, and I think it's hard to make your character actually tanky, but that's kind of okay. I don't really care. It's just a thing to keep in mind that even a guy in plate mail is gonna not have lots of staying power, really.
Exactly. Yeah. You're gonna have to think on your feet, and you're gonna have to be smart about how you approach combat. Yeah. Doesn't matter, even if you're in full plate. Like you're not invincible.
But I like that a lot because you know, for tanking characters in a lot of games, they can take whatever risk they want and not worry about things. But I like the risk reward, even if you are playing the tanky character. And it also means, by contrast, you still have a role because you're going to be taking hits and bleeding health while the wizard in the background is the one you're protecting.
Yep, indeed.
Yeah, and you're being like, Bill, fucking speed up your cast, man. I'm getting the shit kicked out of me.
Exactly. There's a sense of drama to it.
Yep. I think there's also healing spells and stuff, and
There is.
yeah, obviously there would be. And
It's pretty okay.
Yeah, it is.
Theurgy is just really strong in general.
Theurgy being the cleric stuff, yeah.
Yes,
the
clerics are always strong though.
Oh yeah, I mean clerics. Yeah, it's just another caster. It's always going to be strong. So I agree that this is actually a good system. I think it, for me personally, it's not to my taste in some aspects, which boils down to being a D100 system. I don't really enjoy D100 systems. But I would play this if my DM was like, hey, next week I want to DM this. I would be like, okay, sure.
Yeah.
I'll be an oaf. Because it's of the name, I want to be an oaf. And the failings.
I really like how much you love the fucking oaf.
Yes.
It's just you're so into it, and it fills me with joy.
It's just a funny name. And
it's perfect.
And
it's just perfect.
Not gonna be a great character. I mean, in terms of min-max potential, but it's gonna be fun. I can be a big, strong, dumb guy. I love playing that archetype, actually. It's so good.
It's really hit or miss for me on whether or not I like it. But dang, that was good. That was a fun time.
Yeah, it was.
I appreciated going through it.
Oh yeah, and again, the failings of the book, and almost entirely down to them just not putting any setting information in there. I can't sink my teeth into the setting, because that is really why I think, for example, World of Darkness just lit up like it did when it came out. It's just that most of those books, this was just here, a cool setting. You can be cool guy. Just read our little aside about how cool you can be, and how everything works, and that's almost a third of the book. And then we can tell you how it mechanically works, and then you can play it. And this is just, if you subdivide into 3 books, I don't like it, because the player does need the information about the setting.
I'm going to send you the cover of the book.
Yeah.
Right here.
Cover of the...
This is the book you need. Yep, the Chronicles of the Legendary Earth.
Mm-hmm.
Tell you about the setting.
Oh, that's a very 90s map.
Yep, oh boy it is. It is very much. There's also Noble Kings and Dark Lands, which is just as bad. Like, it does not look good. It's rough. But yeah, these are things that you would have to buy.
Yep.
And you really don't have an option.
Mm-hmm.
But you can see it's so weird because it's just Earth.
Yeah.
But in such a weird, smashed up way that it's almost like Gaia-esque.
Yeah.
Everybody has a fascination with that for quite a while. Like, Mystara is the best example of that.
Oh, yeah. Like that there's just another bigger inland sea for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally fine. It works.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And they're like, Italy's just turned around the other way.
Italy gets flipped.
You have to have a boot, but it can't point to the left. It has to point to the right.
Almost looks dainty, like they're trying to put on a high heel or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's like and like the Isle of Crete is just that's the fucking shoe that they're putting on right there. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, this is Crete, and this would be then be Sicily. Sicily has shrunk a lot in this. Man. Yeah.
It's just nuts.
Again, the weak part for me is just the races, and there's no background. But I would play this, sure.
Yeah,
I'd
give it a whirl.
If somebody was like, "Hey, I'm running Legendary Adventures. Shit, I've done it before. I'll do it again." It's really rough because I can't really recommend it to anyone.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like one of those that I can't tell you that you're gonna like it, because it definitely sells to a specific type of fantasy.
I think there's one I can tell you. This falls in the exact same category for me as Rifts. If you have a DM who loves Rifts and has DM'd that before and knows his shit about Rifts, then you can play Rifts with them today, and it's a fun time. But you would never try to get into Rifts on your own today, because it's just such a weird system.
So weird.
And this is the exact same. If you have a DM who has done Legendary Adventures for a while and for some years and wants to play that with you, it's gonna be great, probably. It's gonna be a good time. But that is the only circumstance under which I would want to play this with someone. I wouldn't be like, oh yeah, let's play this cooler system over even 3rd edition D&D with a new group or something. I don't see that.
I don't see that either.
It's so strange. I feel kind of bad saying this because this is basically Gary's like last full system, but this is definitely a heartbreaker.
Yeah,
it really is. It's trying to fight against. Think about the time it came out, 3rd edition.
Yeah.
This is fighting against 3rd edition. They came out around the same time.
If anyone had prior knowledge about what 3rd edition would be like, because it came out, I think, 2000, it would have been Gary Gygax, you know.
Well, he would have had nothing. He had been out since before 2nd edition.
Oh, yeah, I know it's been out, but if anyone would still be able to just know, because based on personal friends and stuff, would have been.
Oh yeah, insider info.
And there's weak parts again. The races, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
So the actual final edition of Legendary Adventures, like this version that we're reading, is 1999.
Mm-hmm.
The final complete like oeuvre was 2000. Mm-hmm. So the complete Legendary Adventure package was out in the same year as 3rd edition in 2000.
Oof.
And given the option between this and arguably the most like prolific edition of D&D, that's rough. That's a heartbreaker.
Yeah, that is rough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially with like the quality of artwork and the quality of mechanics that 3rd edition has, going to this would be really strange.
This is that's very true. This is let's say GURPS level art.
Yeah,
because like
some of the art is like Palladium fantasy almost.
Yeah, and
I was also thinking about it, just like 2nd edition was out, D&D Basic all the way up to the Immortal rules was out. Like this, it feels strange.
It is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you feel the budget here. I think this is a fine book to come out before 3rd edition, but as soon as 3rd edition is out, you see the production values. Oh, there's the cat again, by the way. It looks really weird.
I love that cat.
Yeah.
I love him. I mean, he's just a monster. He's like a little tiny gremlin. Yeah. I adore him.
I mean, I agree with completely. I would play this. I would never seek out play with this.
Yeah.
Someone would have to come to me and tell me, hey, do you want to play Legendary Adventures? And then I would say, have you DM'd this before? And if they say yes, for 5 years, then I would say yes. Otherwise, probably not.
Also, Sundered. Yeah, you could already play Mystara, or you could play the Modifius 2D20 Conan game.
Yep,
that's out. Yeah. That exists, and it's pretty good.
True.
That book is too large to talk about. So, I mean, I think we've wrapped. It's like 450 pages.
Yeah, there's some things.
What do we want to do next, Trake? I think it's your turn. What do you want to do? I'm excited.
You know, I'm tempted for us to do something that's offbeat that people probably haven't even heard of, or maybe have heard of in passing. Something like After the Bomb or something. Something that both Nura and I have played.
Oh shit, After the Bomb. Yeah, that After
the Bomb is funny. It has a special place in some people's hearts, but then at the same time, it's also in the same milieu as Rifts and Palladium and all that. So
I mean, it is Rifts, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not.
It has. It's just like the character creation depth in it. Oh, what kind of animal do you want to be? Oh, I want to be a horse. Well, what kind of horse? You know, it's got so much depth to it.
I mean, we could cater to the furry market if you want.
Hey,
yeah.
No, the original edition of After the Bomb was a supplement to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Other Strangeness. Yes. I know that game. That's the game where you can be on the spectrum, and that's a negative aspect to your character.
Yeah,
it gives you penalties to be on the spectrum. That's fucked up.
Yes, welcome to that time. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god.
They still live in that time in that gaming studio. I swear.
Oh yes.
Wait, they're still around?
And then I think I have the PDF that's the standalone version of it that was released later.
Yeah, I believe I also have that.
I think that's the one we have. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we could do it. Do you have other ones? I mean, if you say what you say goes, just what other ideas do you have? You know that I'm gonna make you read Haven City of Violence when it's my turn again.
Oh yeah.
Violence.
If I can
I
find
don't know.
that PDF
I have
at
to
all.
think a little bit about ones that would actually be fun to talk about on stream, because there's ones that are really like amazing engine, but at the same time, it's like the books for that are kind of short, so they're not really that fun. But yeah, I just thought of After the Bomb because I was just like, there's so many little things in there that are just hilarious.
I desperately want to talk about Dragon Ball Z, the anime adventure game, because it's so funny to me that it's like, I want to be a Saiyan. Okay, you have to roll like I think under 10% to be a Saiyan. Like you have to be a human and then roll like a percentile die, and if you don't get it, you can't be a Saiyan, which is so fucking good.
Okay, dear, my character jumps off the house.
I'll roll a new character.
Dead, roll a new character. Oh, I haven't rolled it. Okay, I have to jump off the house again. And,
that's hilarious.
Shire breed of horse have at various times had workers with largest horse and tallest horse. Okay, yeah, I think Drake, that might have been your character.
Yeah. Well, mine was technically an Appaloosa and zebra mix.
I have not. Right, zebra mix. Yeah, I don't remember what that meant statistically. I played a poison dart frog. Yeah.
She wore the helmet from the game Ruiner.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I've never played After the Bomb, so I'm very excited to be guided through this.
After the Bomb is really good because it's also a showcase of Palladium. Palladium is just so wack and it's fun. Yeah, that's okay.
I figured that's a good showcase without going into the weirdness of like rifts or the bland genericness of a lot of Palladium. I think one of the expansion books lets you play an intelligent insect. I don't remember.
Shit. I'll be a little bug boy.
Yeah, you can for sure do that.
I know most of them are mammals, but there were a couple other ones like the goat spiders. You could play a goat spider.
What the fuck?
Like a spider goat, I think was the term. Genetically engineered.
Oh yeah, spider goat.
Goat that gives spider silk milk. Yeah.
Yep.
I want to make my oath before we end.
Okay, let's go.
Okay,
let's go. Let's make your oath.
50-23. So I have.
We go over just chatting, and we're gonna sit here and make your character.
76 points are spent. So I do want my max speed. Oh, wait, can I put this on stream? I'm sure there isn't a. Let's just make a window capture.
I'm fascinated. I can't wait to see this.
Notepad. So I kind of want to show off how quick it really is, you know. There. No. Wrong one. That. Done. Okay. We have my notepad on stream now. There's some of my notes for today. It's just here. This is my oath. So 76 points went.
There you go. Yeah.
And now I can get +3 here, which is 6 points. I will add max 40. I will basically add 5 just for fun here. And the rest of my things, which is 9 here. That's my 100 points. Now we roll dice. 3d10 plus 4. I'm just going to take average because I don't have all of my dice here right now. So this is 16. This is +20. So we are at 75. This is plus d6 plus 2 is, let's say, 6. We are at 29, 35. And this is plus d4 half points, so plus 2. We are at 7 because it's half points. That's my stats. And then I get physique.
There you go. Yeah.
At 70% of health. So that's gonna be
Beefing up.
7 times 7 is 49 plus something. Let's say
52.5.
That's okay. Let's say I want up to 53. Ranging. Oh wait, I want to be big oaf. Nothing really changes, but nothing really changes in these. But we get a bit more here. Let's say it's D12, so it is 20. Let's say 22. So we have 77, and we have only 8 here, and only. I'm doing stupid things. So this is. Let's just say 80, 34, and 7 is going to stay. Who cares? Close enough. So this is then going to go to 8 times 7 is... Oh my god. 24,
6.
64?
8 times 7, 56.
Oh, sorry, 56, right.
Yeah.
Yep. And ranging is of precision, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The process. Is orc, yeah. Of health is also health. Ranging is health. So it's 60%, so it's just 48.
48, yeah.
And weapons is of precision, which from weapons is not going to be that good. 70% of 34. I am at 3.4 times 7.
23.8.
20. Let's say 24. So my weapon skill is kind of shit. But that's fine.
Yep.
And then I have my one ability at 50%. And one ability at 40%.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's just gonna be and these also increase my base stats. So this is +4, this is +2. I'm not sure in which do I increase them first and then do my final numbers? I think you would, right?
Yes, you do the increase then your final numbers.
Okay, so then I would want min-max ways. I would want 2 speed skills, 2 precision skills. To get a bit more precision there. So let's see what we can take there. Oh yeah, like creativity. So this is creativity. Because I'm an artist wolf. And I am going to take savagery at 40% of my precision for some reason. Oh, the savagery speed. Oh, wrong. I don't want that.
Yep.
Let's say nomadic. Why not?
Yeah, nomadic seems good.
Yeah, perfect.
So then we have +6 for this one for a total of 40, and here we have 84. So this is gonna mean let's add 1 here. I don't know. Let's add 1 here as well. And let's do the math here again. It's just gonna be 70% of 40. So 28. And this is 50% of that is 20, and this is 40%, so it's 16. There's my office done. I am done.
Perfect. Done. You're done. Now all you do is pick your equipment and you're good. You're done.
Yeah. Right,
easy.
Yeah, and that's character creation in this game if you don't make a mage. So hey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's not that hard. Yeah. I mean, it works.
Okay, that's enough of this, I think. So
see?
Close this.
It's a totally usable system. You can make a character within about 15 minutes if you're not doing magic.
Yeah, and it takes 10 hours if you do magic, but hey, whatever.
That's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Those quadratic wizards.
Yeah, they come with a price this time.
Oh, yeah, they really do.
So,
lovely.
Are we done? I think we are done, right?
I think we are done.
Okay.
I think we covered it good.
We covered the whole system.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
We sure did. So next week, in 2 weeks, I'm sorry. Maybe. Oh wait, you are around that time you have your debut, right?
I do. I have my debut on the 30th. So let me look at the.
Might be 3 weeks. Well, we can do this off stream. At some point in the not too distant future, we're going to do the next session of this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And we'll rock more tabletop talk.
Yeah, tabletop talk is going to be. I love this show. I like it a lot.
Ren time. I'm having a great amount of fun with it.
Oh yeah.
It's
been good fun so far.
Who do we rate, my friends? Or Emery, rather. Drake is not streaming yet.
I mean, Azure is is available.
Azure's
You
available, and
drop off on Azure? I was hoping
they
that
hung
my
out
friend
earlier.
Luca would be on, but Luca's not on yet.
Well, then let's both do
Anyways.
Azure.
Yeah, let's go.
Wait, before we do, let's make sure just a sec that Azure is actually streaming already and not just on a starting screen or something. Oh no, I see there's stuff going on. Okay, so let's rate him. Let's rate them. Indeed, let's sound
Here we go. In we go.
Yes, I am hitting.
I will see everyone on Monday.
Oh yes, I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see people tomorrow for something. Oh yeah, playing with Azure tomorrow.
Yep.
How appropriate for your rating.
Wonderful.
Yeah. Have a good one, people. See you soon. Bye bye.
See you soon.
Bye.